Good morning. We are live. It is Thursday. It is Patrick and the people, and Rich Rockwell in the house today. What's up, buddy?
Good morning. What's up, man?
And how you doing, man? I'm good, man. I'm good. How you?
I'm doing good, man. Looking forward to the weekend. We've got TNR Championship Wrestling up in Marmaduke, which is a little ways of a drive away.
That is a drive.
But we're doing a fundraiser for the Marmaduke Fire Department up there.
Oh, that's cool.
So
that's super
going to be a really awesome event to announce.
No, that's super cool. We got a lot to do today. Got a new song to drop, and this one I really, really like. I'll tell you more about it. I don't know how long I can hold out before I play it. I'm very excited. But you did tell me a story this morning, though.
Hang on, sorry. Right. My volume's up. I'm trying to bring everything up.
It's gone sideways already.
Slow. Yeah, right?
No, you did tell me a story this morning, though, that was pretty great about your Harry Potter shirt. You may have accidentally
created something there.
Well, no, you messed up an opportunity, kind of.
Well, yeah. So I had bought for everybody that can't see. Here, let me do this. There.
Yeah.
So it's a nice little, Harry Potter Hogwarts shirt.
Yeah, nice little Hogwarts shirt.
Right. I got it from Goodwill for like $2.
Right. You just wanted in the T-shirt.
Right. It was a cool T-shirt, and I was like, hey, Harry Potter, that's cool. That's popular. I'll wear that. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was at Walmart like last week, and I had this shirt on. I was buying like a headset for my PlayStation.
Right.
In the morning.
Right.
And I had to go ask somebody to get it out of the, locked shelf.
Yeah.
And so, dude, who I ran into was like the hottest chick I've ever seen. Like, I did not know people that beautiful and pretty worked at Walmart.
Like for real.
Like for a solid 9.5.
Oh, yeah. No, you don't see that at Walmart.
No.
By the way, which Walmart was it?
It was, no.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry, man. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, she opened it up, and, I got the headset, and she's like, oh, my God, I love your shirt. What house are you from? And I was
see, here was the question. Here was the mistake. You're not a Potter fan.
I am not. I've seen maybe 10 minutes of all 3 movies put together.
And so what answer did you give? The worst one.
So I was like, I don't know, that one's Slytherin, isn't it? And she was like, oh, I'm Gryffindor. I can't talk to you.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. No, you picked the villain school, the villain house.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, that probably wasn't.
Yeah,
good.
no, you picked the opposite of who she was. So she was like, oh no.
Yeah. The sad thing was I didn't realize it until like after the conversation was over, and 10 minutes later I'm heading up to the checkout, and I'm like, I think she was hitting on me.
I think you should have said, who are you? Which house are you in?
I just dropped it there. I was like,
go,
okay.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
You see, that's what me too. You see how that works? A question.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
I thought about maybe trying to play it off and be like, look, my kid got me the shirt because he's a big fan.
No, that's even worse. No, then you're a fake fan, right? No, you're worse than Slytherin then, man. Come on, man. All right. Good Thursday, everybody. That's Brandon. Brad said, like clockwork, here we are again. Good morning. What's up? Good morning, friends. Hope you have a great day. That's Tasha Mack. And good morning. What's up, Rich and Patrick? That's Turner. What's up, y'all?
What up?
And I'm glad y'all are here.
And hey, what up, Clapper? How y'all doing?
Clapper!
We are live everywhere, man.
We are.
And I'm on TikTok.
Yeah, we had, almost 1,000 yesterday watching live on Clapper. Right?
Yeah, it was like 995.
Yeah, it was a big
awesome.
number. It was great. Let's get to some news you can use, all right? The measles outbreak is still growing strong across at least 4 states. Yesterday, they announced 23 cases in Kansas, likely linked to the nearly 400 in Texas, New Mexico, and Oklahoma. 21 of the cases in Kansas are kids. 20 of them were, guess what? Guess what, Rich?
What?
20 of the kids who have measles were what? Unvaccinated.
Oh.
Yeah, at least 42 people have been hospitalized. Yeah, measles is one of those things. Listen, I mean, I understand if you have questions about a COVID vaccine. That makes sense. But measles is pretty proven.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella.
Okay.
And that's one of the more effective vaccines in history, along with polio.
Okay.
So yeah, don't take that one.
Yeah.
No, go ahead and take the basic ones that you should have, so you can live, and you know what I mean.
Right.
Philadelphia is honoring Will Smith. Yeah, now he's from there, but with a street name, a block of the city's North 59th dedicated to the Hollywood star yesterday is Will Smith Way. He walked across the bridge all throughout high school in snow and rain, he said, and he was on hand for the ceremony and held up the new street sign. So there you go. I guess he's beginning to move past all the negatives associated with him from putting the smacketh down on Chris Rock.
I mean, either that or maybe like on that street alone, every Sunday on the corner, they'll have like Smack Your Friend Day.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Listen, if your dentist has their office set up in their apartment, you might want to find a new one. A bogus dentist in Houston is facing charges. He broke a woman's tooth while pulling it. The woman went last September to the home of Cesar Augusto Perez Mia at an apartment complex for dental surgery. Yeah, don't go to an apartment complex for dental surgery. That's terrible, man.
It's like going to Mexico and getting in a van.
You know, but a lot of times if you don't have dental, you know you're desperate for something. I mean, it's man, dental pain is real.
That's true. That's
You
true.
get desperate, and anybody says, "Well, I'm a dentist. Come to my apartment." I'd have thought he was a serial killer. Let's see. 4 Georgia-based soldiers missing in the overseas training accident, according to the NATO secretary. He said they had died after being reported initially as missing. However, that was backtracked as the search for them continues. They were in an M88 recovery vehicle found submerged in swamp water near the training area, part of the 1st Brigade, 3rd Infantry Division out of Fort Stewart. Girl Scouts founder will be the newest woman featured on the U.S. Quarter. The Smithsonian American Women's History Museum in the Mint will unveil the latest coin in the American Women Quarters program today. Features Juliette Gordon Lowe, the Truffle Cookie, 2 Girl Scout Awards in 1920s uniform. The 4-year-old coin program has honored more than a dozen women, including Eleanor Roosevelt, Maya Angelou, and Sally Ride. Green Day fans surprised with a full concert after they answered a casting call. Hundreds headed over to the Hollywood Palladium Tuesday after the casting call went out for a New Year's Eve performance scene for Green Day's upcoming movie, New Year's Rev. Security and secrecy were tight. The attendees were actually treated to a full-blown 4-hour concert.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah, that's cool. You show up thinking you're just going to be in the background and you're at a 4-hour concert. That's dope.
Latasha says she was thinking I'd either be Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw.
Yeah, definitely
that?
not Gryffindor. No, definitely not Gryffindor.
I feel like I was a Hufflepuff at one point in life, but I worked out and lost some weight.
Yeah, and no longer a Hufflepuff.
Yeah, I'm no longer a
Makes sense.
Hufflepuff.
A source for Us Weekly says Sydney Sweeney and Jonathan Davino have called off their wedding. I only tell you that because, luckily for Sydney, I'm not single. Otherwise, she would now be my girl. Have a parent with a kid over 18 help them with at least some financial report, according to new research from Savings.com. The bank of mom and dad giving out more money than ever to support adult kids. The report points out that it's expensive, of course, but half of parents with adults give them regular financial assistance. That's up from 47% last year and 45% in 2023. Moms and dads give an average of about $1,500 a month to each adult child.
Yeah.
Yeah, that includes groceries, cell phone, health insurance, rent, cars, school expenses, even vacations. Some parents even helping their kids over 18 pay back student loans, pay down credit cards. More than 3/4 of them attach conditions to their financial assistance, like making their child have a job or go to school or contribute to expenses, which makes sense. Nearly 50% admit they've sacrificed their own security to help kids, but feel obligated. 18% say it might go on forever. Third said that they'll cut off that support within the next 2 years. That's interesting, though. The cost of living's just jumped so much.
I mean,
It's tough for
I'm
regular
not ashamed
adults.
to say there's been many times, especially over the last couple of years, I've had to, hey mom,
Yeah.
can you help me out
You
here?
float me for a day. or
Yeah,
two.
float me.
Yeah.
I promise I'll get it back to you, but
Right.
check just didn't cover it this week.
No, I've been there, done that. Let's see here. This is pretty interesting, too. A London-based startup has come up with an innovative self-cooling beverage can technology.
All right.
That's right. Make your refrigerator obsolete. Delta H Innovations claims to have developed the world's first self-cooling aluminum can, codenamed Cool Can. Combines clever design and simple chemistry to make it happen at the press of a button. The company claims the Cool Can can lower the temperature of the contents to about 42 degrees and keep it cool for up to 45 minutes. So it looks like a normal can, apart from a big power button at the bottom of the base that acts as a hidden container. When the button is pressed, there's water released in the space between the can's double aluminum walls, and that cools it off. That's pretty cool, though. Self-cooling can. I mean, if you're going to be out in the summer and you don't have a cooler, you're floating or something.
Isn't that just called a thermos?
Well, it could be, yeah. I mean,
I'm
it could
saying,
be.
Like,
But the thermos
they just
won't.
made a really fancy
No.
thermos.
But a thermos won't hold 12 beers, man.
I mean, you can get it pretty big. I used to have a thermos with me, a big 40-ounce like thermos.
Oh, yeah?
When I did FedEx Ground and just kept a little bit of ice in there and some water, and man, that got me through the day.
Man, I bet.
It's fine. Anyways, I'm just saying.
No, I hear you saying
We've
that's
got.
like,
Hey, I don't know if we can do something. We've got somebody in the comments on Facebook that's offering people readings, and it's obviously a bot or something.
Oh,
but-
Brandon, I handle that. Go get that bot, Brandon. We're at on Facebook.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on the Patrick and the People Facebook because
Okay.
Mitchell had commented, but that's what made me laugh, because Mitchell had commented about the Will Smith street that they must have kept his name's wife out their mouth.
You're right.
And then Sammy Rose got on there and was like, Mitchell, I'm feeling something about relationships relating with your future and lovely life.
Oh, yeah.
Can you message me for your reading?
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I know, that's fantastic. Sammy, we're going to see you later. There we go. Hold on, I just got rid of Sammy.
Did you? All right.
Yeah,
good. Thank you
took
much.
care of that. All right, so back to it. President Trump announced a 25% tariff on all imported cars and auto parts yesterday, a move aimed at boosting American manufacturing, may spark some fallout. The tariffs would go into effect April 3rd and apply to vehicles from major trading partners, including Canada, Mexico, Japan, and the European Union. Obviously, the countries are protesting the tariffs. They don't want them. But I saw yesterday that Hyundai is going to invest some crazy amount of money in a new manufacturing facility here.
Oh.
So I feel like that a lot of these things are working that way
Right.
because these companies are like, yeah, we're going to invest over here and put a place here.
Right.
And that's good. Let's see. Roger Wicker of Mississippi, he's the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, is calling for an expedited watchdog investigation into the recent Signal chat leak that involved Trump officials. Honestly, it's much ado about nothing. If you read what was in there, it was nothing. It's not anything. It's nothing that was classified. It's just nothing, really. So you can fall for the hype if you want to, but don't. The Social Security Administration has backtracked on some ID requirements. They got feedback from the public, and they've revised their policy requiring in-person identity verification for certain. Initially, they had mandated all individuals applying for benefits like disability, Medicare, etc., verify identities at a field office aiming to combat fraud, but apparently concerns arose about that requirement that would create barriers for some people. Who doesn't have an ID? Please raise your hand if you don't have an ID, please. Just put your hand up like this and tell me you don't have an ID, because I don't know anybody that doesn't have an ID. I know a lot of different people. Everybody's got an ID.
I mean,
if you get a government check of any kind, you got to have an ID.
Right.
End of story.
Right.
You can't get a government check and cash it without ID.
Well, maybe they're, trying to do that for all the, people that are 180 years old still getting
Right.
social, you know?
No, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, let's move past that, shall we? Let's go to some good stuff. This is a great story. A group of Brooklyn Exchange students returning from Jerusalem got an unexpected surprise at Newark Airport. A cab driver mistakenly handed them a lost backpack.
Oh.
They opened up and found diamond-encrusted pendants, Rolex watches, loose diamonds, and cash. The backpack was north of $100,000 in valuables. So unsure what to do, the student contacted his mom, who said they should call the local public safety group. And those volunteers started an investigation, were able to track down the backpack's owner, a guy who works in New York City's Diamond District. How do you forget your bag full of Rolexes and
For
diamonds?
real.
I mean, what is your mind on?
Oh, I was just thinking about my 1800th Lamborghini.
Maybe so, or maybe he ran into the Gryffindor girl at Walmart. While making a food delivery, a Sacramento Meals on Wheels volunteer discovered a man who'd been trapped in his collapsed bed for 3 days. He called 911 to get him help. Patricia Escobar, who has encountered similar emergencies before, was praised by the program's director for her swift response. The incident reinforces the essential role Meals on Wheels volunteers play in helping keep vulnerable people safe. Well, yeah, I think that's a great program.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zach McIlveen, he's 18, he's from Nova Scotia, has some pretty significant health conditions, and he went to Make-A-Wish, Canada, and asked to meet Jelly Roll. Well, he got that chance. A chance meeting with a Star's bus driver led to backstage access for Zach and his family before the concert in Ottawa, where they did actually get to meet him. During the show, Jelly Roll dedicated the teen's favorite song to him as the crowd chanted his name. That's pretty dope.
That is, man.
That's a dope experience. Chevelle, the band, not the car, has dropped their first new track in 4 years. It's not just a tour. They released Rabbit Hole, Cowards Part 1, their first new song in 4 years. They invite listeners to put on their tinfoil hats, slam a donkeys, and go deep doom scrolling. Well, that sounds exciting. It's the 10th album for them. It's expected later this year when it'll be released. Okay, here's big news. So Marvel has revealed the Avengers Doomsday cast, and it's everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. So all of the Avengers, the new Fantastic Four, and get this, all of the old X-Men. Maybe not Wolverine, don't know. But at least all the other X-Men are there. From the OG X-Men, Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler,
Wow.
James Marsden as Cyclops. They got Patrick Stewart. Yeah, he's still alive. Ian McKellen as Magneto, of course. They've got Rebecca Romijn as Mystique. Even Channing Tatum is back as Gambit.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're bringing the heat. They're bringing everybody.
That's going to be awesome.
It will be big. Let me put it like that. It'll be very big. Probably very expensive.
Right.
The Mystery Machine's going to roll again. Netflix moving ahead with a live-action Scooby-Doo series. The 8-episode series will serve as a prequel investigating the origins of the mystery-solving teen gang and their talking dog. The official storyline says during their final summer at camp, old friends Shaggy and Daphne get embroiled in a mystery surrounding a lonely lost Great Dane puppy that may have been witness to a murder. Yeah, that'd probably be good. I like Scooby-Doo. Sounds fun.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
That's our kind of show, man.
Definitely.
Go smoke one and watch some Scooby-Doo.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, that's right. That is right. This is, we sometimes people talk about how great Japan is, and this is a good example of that. Okay.
Do they? Do you hear that often?
I do.
Okay. I just wondered. I mean,
Osaka Prefecture in Japan has passed a new law. It bans senior citizens from talking on the phone while using the ATM.
this is what people talk about with Japan all the time. Huh?
This is the greatness of Japan, man. They're banning senior citizens
We're over
using
here
their phone at the
people from watching
ATM.
porn. They're like, you can't get your money and talk on the phone at the same time.
That's right. It limits how much you can transfer by ATM and requires stores that sell prepaid cards to make sure buyers aren't being tricked. Apparently, people are getting frauded. They're trying to protect them, but still. All right, well, guess what's back today? You know what it is, March Madness. Can I continue to dominate the bracket?
Are you still with
I don't know. I am.
Yeah?
Believe it or not, somehow, some way, the non-betting, non-gambling guy who picked by instinct only,
I was gonna
nothing
say,
else, no research.
You didn't have any like strategy, or you didn't type into Grok like
No.
pick me out. Yeah,
No, I went by instinct.
it probably would have told you to.
Yeah, it'll probably blow up on me soon. But, so round 3 starts tonight. There'll be 4 games to determine which teams go to the Elite Eight. So at 7:09 p.m. Eastern Time, it's BYU versus Alabama. 7:39 p.m. Eastern Time, Maryland and Florida. Arizona and Duke at 9:39 Eastern Time, and at 10:09 Eastern Time, Arkansas and Texas Tech, baby.
Ooh,
That's going to be an interesting game. I would be it'd be exciting to see them get past Texas Tech and get into the Elite
man,
Eight.
Arkansas has really been, because I remember I was talking about it before, Cinderella stories, and Arkansas has really kind of been the Cinderella story so far.
Well, they've done well. They've been to the Sweet 16. I think 22, 23, 24, or 21, 22, 23. I think the last 3 years we went to the Sweet 16 with Musselman as the coach. But,
Okay.
But now you got Calipari, so we'll see. Maybe you can go the distance. Maybe. Okay. NFL Competition Committee. Next week, all the NFL owners are going to meet up. They're going to talk about, how cool it is to be an NFL owner. But in addition to that, they'll vote on a fresh rule proposal put forth by the league's competition committee. One of those rules would make it so that the dynamic kickoff would be a permanent thing with one change. The league projects the kickoffs will be run back 60 to 70% of the time if touchbacks automatically result in the ball being placed on the 35. In order for this to pass, 24 of the 32 owners will have to approve it. So we'll see if they do that.
Man.
What?
I don't know. This is why I don't like the NFL. I feel like
they change the rules all the time.
Yeah, I feel like they've just ruled it to death. Like all that, the 35-yard line, and like you said, they're just. Why would you not opt for that?
Right.
I mean, that's a quarter of the battle's already done.
Right. The odds of
Sorry,
picking,
a third.
No. The odds of picking the perfect March Madness bracket out of a 64-team field it's like a gazillion to 1. Okay. It'd actually be in the quintillions if you don't want to look up these numbers that I'm looking at. So when it comes to women's tournaments, there are 4 perfect brackets right now, according to the 33 major online bracket challenges. Of those 4, one of them, sadly, has a major flaw. The person who filled it out, only known as RIP, and that's appropriate, R.I.P., bitch, forgot to enter the winner of the championship game.
Oh.
So it might cost them serious winnings because, you absolutely have a perfect bracket.
Right,
But
but she's not the champion.
Yeah, that's tough, man. All right.
You forgot the most important part.
Well, yeah, among them, yeah. So that could be a haunting choice for her. And then one more thing here in sports that's pretty wild. A Tennessee softball star pitched her way into the NCAA record books. Lady Volunteers pitcher Carlin Pickens. Sounds like a good pitcher name. Carlin Pickens.
Right?
She took to the mound Monday and threw the fastest pitch in collegiate softball history. It happened in the 6th inning of their game against who? Arkansas.
Oh.
Yeah. Her pitch, 78.2 miles an hour. 78.2 miles an hour, man. I see your computer just swarm on you. Did it just...
it just did its little thing.
I think it's overheating.
It pisses me off every time.
I think it's overheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Gunner needs to take fix the cooling.
Something, man.
In it. Yeah, 72.8 or 78.2 miles an hour softball. That's an underhand throw.
Dude, That's
crazy.
It is.
Now I know what people say. Well, guys are throwing it like 100. Okay.
Yeah, but have you seen the way? Dude, I've watched softball. Like, I'm always worried the way they just do that whole shoulder. Dude, I can't.
It's like, how long can your shoulder last? Like
right.
That? But I guess they do all right.
I mean,
that's crazy.
I feel like my arm would fly off if I tried to do something like that.
I hear you there. Listen, if you're looking for a vehicle, look no further than Fitz Auto. They've got late models. They got low mile vehicles. Any kind of vehicle you could possibly want. Plus, with it being summertime, they have ATVs, they have motorcycles, and travel trailers. All of those you can finance at Fitz Auto. And I know what some of you are saying, Not with my credit, Patrick. Wrong, you can. They can help you out even with bad credit. It's what they specialize in. They're their own bank. They don't have to ask anyone for permission, okay? So go over there, 8421 Stagecoach Road in Little Rock, or fitsauto.com. You can see all their inventory online and get pre-approved right there. All right, let's see what the people are saying here. Let's see. Erica said, "Hey, bestie, Rich."
Hey, what's up, Erica? She's a videographer for a lot of the wrestling promotions.
Oh, okay.
Black Spectrum Photography.
Well, welcome, Erica. Welcome. Let's see. Turner said, "Good morning." They're asking each other what their favorite, what house they're in, what their favorite Harry Potter. Everybody's in the comments talking Harry Potter.
Brandon, a.k.a. what was it, Governor Hot Wheels now? Yeah.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
He was saying he needed a sorting hat.
Oh, yeah.
What
yeah,
is that?
What?
What is a sorting hat? Is that like something you throw like the papers into or something? And
The sorting hat is the hat that you reach into or put on your head that determines what house you're in, Gryffindor or Slytherin.
Oh, okay.
And clearly, if you had known that, you would have answered the girl right and been on a date yesterday. So,
all right. Well,
I kid, man. All right.
somebody needs to school me in Harry Potter.
No, you're good. Let's take a quick break. Listen, so this song that I got today, it's called Title, and I set out to do something that sounded like, what? What did you do?
I just had this scenario play in my head of where you could be talking to somebody about the song or playing it for them, and they'd be like, "Oh, what's the name of the song?" You'd be like, "Title," and they're like, "Yeah, what's the title?"
What's the title?
Title?
Yeah, title.
Anyways.
Yeah. No, that is funny. You had a whole thing going in your head, a routine over there.
Yeah, it was good.
So, yeah, it's called Title, and I wanted to do something this time that was akin to Soundgarden, Led Zeppelin style, real heavy blues, kind of melodic, but just wailing. You know what I mean? And
Dude, I want to hear this now.
yeah, I feel like that I accomplished it, but I want y'all's feedback, so you tell me what you think. Let's play this thing. Yeah.
Brand new.
What is there to say that's not been said? A love that was trampled, is it already dead? I keep trying, I'm calling your name. If we lose, it's a shame, and maybe even a sin, but it's dying, I don't want it to die. I don't wanna cry. I'm reaching for you, and you're asking why. Baby, don't you know you got the title to my soul? You thought that we would stay on our very first day. Baby, I've lost my way back into your arms. Don't leave me in this frame. got the title to my soul. No, no, no. Baby, don't you know you got the title to my soul.
Man, that was.
That's epic, kind of a thrasher right there.
I really like that, man.
Yeah, that's got some groove to it. I liked it too. It was a lot of fun to do that. So, yeah, it looks a little different. We've come back, and all of a sudden, somebody else is here. So, let's say hello to Jeremy Montez. How you doing, man?
Great. Thank you for having me, Patrick. Thank you for having me again, Rich.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, you were on the intermission with Rich this past weekend, right?
That's correct.
That's great. So you have some affiliation with wrestling. You do a lot of things with the wrestling folks. What all do you do, Jeremy?
I am an announcer over at MACW. I'm the lead announcer over at MACW. I'm a co-commentator also with my colleague Peter Van, the inevitable Peter Van, who has a birthday today. Happy 48th, I believe. Yeah, it's his birthday today.
Okay.
So happy birthday, Peter. Didn't forget about you. Love you, buddy. I also do refereeing. If there's, if I'm not on a show and I just want to help out the boys, I'll do anything around there.
Right. Now you do stand-up comedy too, though.
Yes, I just got back into that. It was after a 6-year hiatus.
Yeah. So you just kind of took a break and you've come back, and now you're, doing something at the joint with a roast battle, right?
That's correct. The Partially Cooked podcast is presenting a live roast battle next Thursday, April 3rd. It will be my first roast battle.
Yeah.
I'm actually possibly going to win money for insulting people.
That would be fun.
So it's kind of like what you do up here.
Yeah, no, I get you completely. That's why I haven't come. I don't want to just
demolish us.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Step
aside, fellas.
How does it work, man? How do your roast battles work? How do y'all format it?
Well, this one, it's basically, I met my competition. We do like 5 jokes or something like that. I don't know. Usually a roast battle is like back and forth.
Right.
You remember your mama, right?
Right.
Snaps.
Yeah.
Basically it's that. Like, you do it against like an insult. I'll do an insult on you, Patrick. You're so old. Radio was not even invented yet. You were just
Right.
speaking into a rock.
Right.
Then you go. Then I go back and forth. That whole thing, and the audience decides, and then I move on.
So it's similar to the Jeff Ross roast battles, then.
Yes.
Yeah,
Basically.
kind of formatted that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then that's a lot of damn fun.
The twist is because it's hosted by the Partially Cooked podcast, the winner gets a spot on the podcast and they get interviewed.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll also win money. I think it's this round. I think I win like a couple of bucks or something like that. But we are battling for a championship, which is a title belt.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, it's all about
how
wrestling
many
with me.
competitors are there?
This one, I believe it is 5 comedians. So yeah, I think I'm not sure. This is my first one, so I don't know. And I'm
Okay.
very sorry, guys, that I'm butchering all this stuff. I just woke up, obviously. And so, yeah, maybe we talk about it in a little bit whenever I
No, I
finish this
understand.
thing. I
Let's
kill this
get
thing.
some bubbles in you there
Yeah,
for a
please.
second and regroup with you here. All right. Well, I do have a couple things that I've been wanting to get to, and one of them that's really interesting is, have you heard about beard transplants?
What?
Yeah, people are paying money now to get beard transplants.
Like, hey man, I like your beard and my beard won't grow with that. So can I get it? Can I have your beard? Is that what you're talking about?
Well,
a
Like
transplant?
face off?
Not-
Like beard off?
Not quite taking somebody else's beard. It's also known as a facial hair transplant. So it's like, a surgery, like you get hair surgery, people are getting beard surgeries now. So they can have a
You
nice
talking about
woolly
like
beard.
plugs?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Facial follicle reconstructive surgery or
Something along
some
those lines.
boring ass like medical term.
Yeah, something like that.
It was cool. It was cool when you were talking about it earlier, and then I kind of added beard off, like the movie Face Off. Like,
Yeah, that's
I want his beard. Like it's out. I'm picturing
That would
Richard
be
Karn.
great.
I'm picturing Richard Karn and like Richard Kind, Richard Kind never has a beard, and he wants one, and so he just like kidnaps
Richard Karn from
Al Borland.
Al
One of the
Borland,
most famous
yeah.
beards in the game,
No,
in television
Well,
history.
he was, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just of all time. He's an all-time.
Yeah, okay. All right,
But
very
yeah,
nice.
you know, and it's basically the premise of Face Off, and then Richard Kind, he was like one of the guys from Sin City. He's like a character actor, or not Sin City, Spin City with Michael J.
Spin
Fox.
City.
Yeah, I'm old, not as old as you, but I'm pretty old.
No, but your references are definitely as old as
Yeah, no.
That's just a little roast battle,
Yeah, a little roasting. But
No,
yeah,
no,
and then
you're
you
good,
just
you're
kidnap him with the, and then he takes his beard, he gets all the confidence, and Al Borland has to fight back to get his beard.
No, that
I just wrote a treatment, folks.
no, you that's probably $1 million script.
Yeah, is Hollywood listening? Or do we have any?
Oh no, they definitely are listening.
I think that caffeine is
Here's
hitting a little
here.
strong.
You'll relate to this for sure, Jeremy.
Okay.
A record shop owner from Vancouver, Canada, discovered a rare Beatles audition tape from the '60s in his collection. Neptune Records owner Rob Frith stumbled upon a rare piece of Beatles history in his store. He said, "I picked up this tape years ago that said Beatles demos on it. Years ago.
Wow.
I just figured it was a tape of a bootleg record. After hearing it last night for the first time, hold on, you got a tape years ago that said Beatles demos on it, and you didn't listen to it for all that time? How rich are you?" He said, "I just figured it was a tape from a bootleg record, but after hearing it, sounds like a master tape. The quality's unreal. How is it even possible to have what sounds like a 15-song Beatles Decatape master?" Well, that's what he had. He had it verified. The tape is believed to be from the January 1st, 1962 audition session the Beatles recorded at Decca in London. They declined to sign the Beatles.
Oh wow.
You're right. So the band went on to join Parlophone under George Martin, and they released their debut album in 1963. So according to this, this was the Beatles were in the room
Right.
making this. So, the tape was given to him by a producer in London during the 70s who said that copies should be sold in North America. And he said, I didn't want to do that because I didn't feel like it was the moral thing to do.
Yeah, the moral thing to do, or haven't they been cashing in on?
Well,
you know,
I guess that was then, but this piece of music history, you can go over to his Instagram now and hear some of it. And he's got Money, That's What I Want, along with some other notes and videos about his discovery. He said he has no intention of selling the tape, but would be happy to offer a copy to Decca. He did say he would hand it over to Sir Paul McCartney if the opportunity were to present.
not Ringo, by the way. Ringo's still alive, and he's getting the shaft.
Yeah, well, he's Ringo, man. I mean,
Yeah, of course.
he's a fun guy, but
It's called Backbeat for a reason. We got you in the back for a reason. Tom.
yeah, I never really thought Ringo was that great. To be
I was more of a George man myself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
George Harrison, you liked his guitar.
Loved his guitar, loved his whole look. Also, his wife, Patty Boyd. I mean, she was the inspiration for 2 songs,
Yeah.
Layla and the way you look tonight.
Well, how many people were hooking up with her?
Just Eric Clapton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, Layla was about his like crush on her.
Oh, okay.
It was like him shooting a shot, and it
Gotcha.
became a famous song.
Well, obviously, yeah.
And then Wonderful Tonight was
yeah.
about when they were married.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, he's had an interesting life at
Like
moments.
he introduced like the mysticism element too to the band. Introduced him to Ravi Shankar and all that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he's responsible for a lot of cool shit.
No, he really was. He's been a great guitarist for a long time.
Yes.
Here, let's talk about this. Is a wild story. I don't know if anybody saw this video yesterday, but I got to ask, what the hell is going on over here in Texas? What are they taking?
Oh no! What did my state do this time?
Yeah, are you from Texas?
Yes, originally San
Where?
Angelo, Texas.
San
325, represent.
That's closer to the border, right?
No, that's
No.
West Central Texas.
Okay, yeah, my dad was from Irving, Dallas area.
Okay, yeah, we're about 3.5 hours away from that, like 3.5 hours south.
Yeah, okay.
I have a lot of family in the DFW area. My brother's a big radio fan, morning radio fan. Shout out my brother Jimmy. Sorry, I'm gonna get them all out. I'm gonna get all the
that's
shout outs
fine.
up
We'll
top
get
of the
them all
hour.
out. No, that's great. Well, here's what happened. A distressed woman stripped down to her birthday suit and started assaulting airport workers in a video that is viral. Can you see? Here's a clip of this lovely young lady.
Yeah.
Sans clothing. Samantha Palma is her name. And Samantha got buck naked, stabbed 2 people with a pencil, bit a restaurant manager while parading around in the buff during a manic episode, they say.
Okay, see, this could have been if you would have told me Texas, we could have done a segment with this and a couple other things called Florida or Fake. And it would have, because that sounds like a Florida headline, but it's a Florida woman. It would have been a Florida woman.
You're right. No, I get you there. The wild woman who called herself the goddess Venus stabbed a manager at the airport restaurant in the head and face with his own pencil as he tried to subdue her. Then she's accused of biting him on the forearm. Video circulating shows the full spectrum. Listen, she is literally running up and down the concourse, buck naked, people everywhere, and nobody really gives a damn. One lady tried to offer her a coat, and she ran past her. And then the security was trying to grab her, and for some reason she yelled, "Don't you understand? I speak all languages, you mother..."
Yeah.
Like, what language are you speaking right now? Because
Se habla español. Yo soy Venus.
yeah, no, she I mean, and listen, a lot of times the people who like to take their clothes off in public aren't
Usually
the ones-
shouldn't.
No, they're the ones you don't want to see. But this lady had a really, really nice physique, very attractive young woman.
We're just
Yeah.
kind of like, hey, free show at the airport.
Yeah, I
She's
just thought
crazy.
I just thought, man, if you were her dad right now watching that video.
I think that's why people let it go. They were like, "This is fine."
No, they didn't let it go. She got
Well,
arrested.
I mean, anyone that could have jumped in. It's Texas, We carry guns everywhere. We carry guns to church.
Yeah, no,
You know,
they
I
did.
mean,
It's
it's pretty fast and loose if you're a native, and you go to the airport and stuff.
Yeah.
That's not it. No, this is parody, folks. It's parody.
no,
Parody, folks.
Yeah, it's wild to see it. I would imagine she's on drugs. That would be my guess. Yeah,
Good drugs.
She took something.
Good drugs. She's a goddess. Those are great drugs, honestly.
Yeah, I wish I would feel as good as a goddess. That's true. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Man,
body of a goddess.
we created an AI video yesterday with one of your songs, and
We did.
posted it on-
We did on Clapper.
Yeah.
And then we put it out on some other social media, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's doing
so-
pretty good, man.
Yeah, no, it was doing really good. Put out the song Out of Pocket, which is a pop song. And you can check that out over on our social medias for sure. Let's do a commercial real quick. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Have you been injured? You need an attorney with a passion for people and an obsession with justice. That attorney is Tim Reed in Little Rock. Look, they've won $1.3 million in wrongful death, almost $1 million in medical malpractice and in insurance dispute. These guys know what they're doing, but more importantly, he's not a figurehead of some kind. He's not just some person on a poster with a picture of a rig or a smile or his dog with him. This is a real guy you can text with, you can talk to, and who will take good care of you. He'll work with you personally to get what you deserve. Check out readfirm.com, readfirm.com, or give him a call, 777-7333. You know what, as a real estate agent, I've seen lots of homes get caught up in probate. That's when somebody dies and they don't have a will. And the next thing you know, siblings are arguing over houses, possessions, cars, things like that. That is a nightmare you don't want any part of. You're going to need some help. You need someone with experience. You need Riggin Law. Okay, RigginLaw.com. Kristen Riggin there and her team are amazing at guiding you through this process. Look, you want to get what's coming to you, but you don't want to have to fight with everybody to get it. Just get Kristen to do the work for you. Go to RigginLaw.com. When you have questions, you have concerns about an inheritance, about anything like that, RigginLaw.com is the solution. Check them out.
Getting ready for the party. My fit's at the top of my game. Silk shirt under Armani. Just throwing out a name. Sipping on that Bacardi. We calling that the pregame. Gonna be swarming with Barbies. Trying to get me out my A-frame. type of soiree. Everybody wants the invite. We heading down Broadway. Yeah, we kick until daylight. We serving up beats gourmet. This, that legendary funk. Party about to get so cray. The sun gonna come up drunk. Maybe about an hour later, we sliding in the Esco. Fully decked for the haters. Keys to the valet, you know. They handing out party favors. It's summer, but they still got snow. This, that type of soiree. Everybody wants the invite. We heading down Broadway. Yeah, we kick until daylight. We serving up beats gourmet. This, that legendary funk. Party about to get so cray. The sun gonna come up drunk. Back it up, okay. Line of people waiting outside. Can't get past the doorman, brushed off just like fluoride. Because I brought my funk band, house hopping with movie stars. But it's us everybody wanna meet. They're more famous, yeah, by far. But we're serving up these funky beats. Serving up funky. Serving up funky. Serving up funky. Serving up beats so fat they need Ozempic. This, that type of soiree. Everybody wants the invite. We heading down Broadway. Yeah, we kick until daylight. We serving up beats gourmet. This, that legendary funk. Party about to get so cray. The sun gonna come up drunk. We kick until daylight. And it's still night. And it's still night.
Liking the funk, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You got to have a little bit of funk in there, too. I got a little something there for everybody. You know, I try to keep it well-rounded over here. Back in action here, and this is a fascinating story if you have a dog, if you're a pet lover. Do you guys, I didn't remember, do y'all have an animal, a pet at home?
I do not.
What about,
I used to. I've had dogs all my life,
Yeah.
and I had a couple boxers, but I had to adopt them out, find them good homes. but-
yeah, rehome them?
I was a dog guy before I became a wife guy and then a divorce guy.
I got you. Well, a new pill being touted as Ozempic for dogs.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, has gotten a nod of approval from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. It was created by an American biotech firm and is said to have the ability to help larger dogs live longer. In short, it works as a metabolism booster for dogs. It won't
Okay.
decrease the appetite, but it will help its system work harder than it normally would during the aging process. It's in the testing phase, said to be helpful for dogs over 10 years old that weigh more than 13 pounds. So it could be a real big thing to help dogs out.
Well, and I was thinking when you said that, like, first thing that popped into my head are Great Danes. Because
Yes.
they can be such a lovely, friendly, basically a friendly giant.
Yeah.
But they have such a short lifespan.
No, it's the same with boxers. Great Danes may be a little
Mastiffs.
shorter. Yeah, boxers on average are 10 to 12 years. I think a Dane is 8 to 10.
Okay.
Mastiff probably the same. So yeah, and it's so much different now than when I was a kid because 99% of dogs when I was a kid lived outside. No matter the size,
the
no
breed,
matter the
whatever.
breed, didn't matter. They lived outside. My
They were like
dad,
protectors. They were that was their environment.
Yeah, no, my dog, her name was Brownie, and she probably weighed 10 pounds, and she was a terrier mix, and she lived in a house outside, and in winter they threw hay in the bottom and a blanket over the door, and that was that.
Yeah, when I was a kid, my first dog, when I was like 2, 3, whatever, like something I was way little. It was a gigantic black Labrador named Blackie, and he lived in the back of he lived in the backyard, and also my very first dog was a blue like my first dog, like the first one I had any sort of responsibilities with was a blue heeler named Bud. I got him on like the day of Christmas break, like around first grade or something like
Yeah.
that. But he lived outside. Bear, the little border collie, all my pugs, all of our
Yeah,
pugs.
no, they all lived outside.
yeah,
then,
all outside.
You know, but now I would say that 80+% of dogs live inside, and they're family now. They're not. People are trying to extend their lives. They're trying to feed them differently. I mean,
Right.
again, when I was a kid, man, whatever dog food was there, Old Roy or anything else, is what they
Leftovers,
got.
the
Yeah, it
scraps,
didn't
all the
matter.
bones.
Yeah, that's just how it was, But now people are spending big money. I mean, you can go to Walmart in the refrigerated section. They have
They had their
you
own
know,
coolers,
dog food.
dedicated coolers and everything.
Yeah, they do. It's wild to see how dogs' lives have changed, and they're more like kids and family now.
He's not a pet. He's family.
No, I mean that's how people treat them. Let's see. As a matter of fact, speaking of people, what they're saying. Brandon earlier on the first song said awesome guitar solo. Hey, appreciate that, man. Darren said, "What's up, bros?"
What's
Howdy.
Darren, man, appreciate you being here. Darren Riggins, good people, man. If you ever need some help with a little bit of construction, he's a good one to holler at for home stuff.
Brandon Jack said good morning.
What's up, Brandon Jacks?
JP Ford said morning, gang.
What up, JP?
That's a funny dude there.
Yeah. He's been kind of helping me. He kind of introduced me to the scene and stuff.
Oh, well, he's a good one, man. JP has been family here since the day he got here, and he,
right on. Yeah,
he does
great
a lot
dude,
of stuff.
solid guy.
Yeah, no, he's real good people. I love JP.
I think we're gonna try and hit up a Mike in Hot Springs, hosted by a local comedian here, Kelly Collum.
Okay.
She actually, but we don't have too many mics around. So a lot of
Yeah.
comedians are kind of setting up like shop elsewhere or kind of in like locations you wouldn't think.
Yeah, no,
I'm still kind of getting that vibe. And I think it's called like Splash or something like that. But
Yeah, that's the norm here. I mean, we've been that way. I did comedy stand up for over 15 years.
kind of like a DIY punk scene.
And it is because
That's awesome.
You have the Looney Bin and now the Joint.
The Joint, yeah.
But otherwise, you just have to use non-traditional venues.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I spent more than a decade doing a tour of venues around the state of Arkansas.
Fun idea. Would you ever think of possibly using like this massive complex as possibly an open mic thing?
I don't know.
If we get approval from the boss, I don't know. Are you the boss?
I'm not the boss
Okay,
of this building.
well, let's-
so
yeah.
I can't answer that question. I don't know. But yeah, this scene has always been that way. If you want to do comedy, you got to go. North Arkansas's got a few places too. So you're going to have to go back and forth. But if you really, really want to get in the comedy scene, you either got to get online or you got to start, going to bigger cities.
That was actually kind of when I first started back in San Angelo. It was the open mic scene was literal open mics where it was a lot of music. And luckily, I had a lot of musician friends that were like singer songwriters and stuff that hosted. That when I got into it, I would just talk to them and I was like, "Yo, you mind if I run my set or, tell a couple of jokes?" And usually for open mics, you get like, if you're a musical act, you get, 3-4 songs, something like that. But this was such a new thing when I was doing it, when we kind of started, that they were like, "Yeah, man, do you want to do like 10 minutes or something like that?" I don't know, like, you don't do songs, you do jokes, but jokes can be like anywhere between 45 seconds to 2 minutes. So they structured it to a point where it was like, "Yeah, man, if you want to run a 10-minute set, go ahead." Like, I mean, you're doing a show Friday, it was a Tuesday mic. They'd be like, "Just run your set, dude. Work it out."
Yeah.
So it was a very cool scene.
That was where at?
That was in San Angelo.
San Angelo.
Speaking of Patrick, one of the hosts that I'm still in contact with over there in San Angelo, Patrick Vinay, aka Pat Man. Shout out Pat Man. So love the scene, and that's why I'm starting to love this scene now that I know that they're kind of having to set up stuff and do it like that, kind of DIY indie kind of punk scene from
No,
early.
it's definitely an indie scene.
Yeah, I love that.
That's what I would call it here. So we talked yesterday about. Let me do this first, and then we're going to do that because I want to reset that because I want to talk about Miss J.D. Vols over on Clapper. Clapper, what up? We're diamond mining, baby. So listen, today, if you want some brew, go over to Stone's Throw. They're at 402 East 9th Street, Stone's Throw Brewing. They have a lot of different beers on tap. It's craft beer. And on Thursday, Taproom Trivia is at 6:30 p.m. First, second, and third place win prizes. I know he gives away beer, so that's
Okay.
a great prize. He's got.
You want to team up?
Too.
You want to team up, gang? Maybe win some beer.
Yeah, it's going to be at 6:30 tonight. And not only that, if you want dinner, they've got Slater's Alaskan Dumplings running it, and they've got some really, really good stuff.
Sounds
So-
like I may have plans if I don't hit that mic in Hot Springs.
I know that's right. So here's what's going on. Yesterday we talked about Florida.
Yeah.
They're working on passing a law there, or trying to pass a law that would allow 14-year-olds, kids as young as 14, to not only work during the school year, but to work full-time and overnight shifts.
Right.
And still go to school.
Right.
And so we kind of bantered back and forth about that. And over on Clapper, J.D. Vols, who's a teacher there, began to comment and share some information. What was she saying?
Well, yeah. So she was basically saying that that she wasn't surprised by it, and that we should be. That's not even basically half of what the kids are doing down there. And so I came back and I said, okay, well, I understand your position. So does that mean like you support this? Like, hey, the kids are doing crazier stuff. May as well at least let them work, or not. And so they came back and said, no, I don't support the legislation.
Yeah.
But understand, like, most of the kids down here that are in school, she said the 18-year-olds are pretty much just checking themselves out and doing whatever.
Which isn't abnormal.
And the younger kids are basically missing school for whatever reason all the time.
Wow.
And so that's where I was kind of like, all right, well, that's two opposite sides of the spectrum. I mean, 18, you're a senior in high school.
You're legally allowed to, sign up for the military at that point.
Right, and you really don't have a big schedule or anything,
Right.
so that makes
Whole lot of
sense
nothing.
that you're in and out of school, you know?
Yeah.
But the younger kids, absolutely, what are we talking? Elementary, even, whatever, because I know here in Arkansas, like, if my kid misses too many days of school,
No, the truant officer.
is,
Yeah.
is coming knocking on my door.
Come and knocking at the studio door.
But it is.
Kid in here?
It is Florida, though.
I mean,
Yes.
it's
I mean,
true,
that's
so-
that's.
That was my first thought. I was like, this is news.
But it is. Well, I'm just, man, I struggle with that one. If you are, I would go with 17, but not 14. I
Right.
don't think you should work.
16 pushing it, but yeah.
I don't think you should work an overnight shift and then go to school. I don't think that's in any way healthy for your school life or your
I
studies.
think the rationale is that, like, the kids are all, it's hard getting these kids to bed or whatever. So it's like, might as well, let them earn some money or, whatever. So I think that's probably it, because they have all this energy.
I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all. I disagree with that.
Okay.
I think that the problem probably is that all of a sudden you've gotten rid of some folks, and now there's jobs available that aren't being done, and they need people to do those jobs.
But when are the rallies of they will not replace us, and now it's our kids?
Well-
they're talking about their kids. They will not replace us. They're gonna get older, and you're gonna die, and it's gonna happen.
Well, that's a little morbid, but yeah, it could. Yeah, I mean that's.
Not a clean comedian, sir.
No, it's fine. I understand. But yeah, I think that's interesting that Ms. Vol said that.
Yeah, I look forward to. I mean, we've kind of just been exchanging comments, but it's getting to that point where I'm like, you know what? This was a great article. Obviously,
You know what we should do?
we should try and get.
Let me tell you what we should do. Ms. Vols, are you on Clapper today? If you are, why don't we set up a video interview?
Yeah.
I would love to do a video interview with you and talk a little bit more about what your observations are. And
I'd love to hear from her too.
We don't want to get no political or anything like that, but just talk about what your observations are, why you think this is or isn't a good idea, and what teachers in Florida are contending with just in general. Because it is different probably than here. Every state's its own entity and does things a different way.
Give us a scene report.
Yeah, no, I'd love to interview you. So, comment, and I'll have Rich reach out to you.
Yeah.
And let's get a video interview set up, Miss Vols. I think it'd be great.
I'll make
And it's JD Vols. It could be she's just subbing in for volunteers. She might be a Tennessee fan. I don't know if she's really Miss Vols. Just out of respect, that's what I'm saying, because she's a teacher. So I don't know if that's really the name or not.
Right.
Thank you for your service.
No, it is appreciated a great deal. So again, Jeremy, tell everybody when your roast battle is and where it's at.
That is going to be next Thursday, April 3rd. It's going to be at the Joint Comedy Theater. We've got the info coming up here in just a second. It's going to be at 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Yeah.
at the Joint.
at the Joint.
And it's a roast battle, the first one that's going to be at the Joint. And
Well, I mean, my first one.
Okay,
They-
your
they've
first
been
one.
they've been running the
Okay,
show
they've
for a
been-
while. I just got invited on after
Okay.
being seen at like a mic. Just kind of like I guess Seth Dees, shout out Seth Dees. He saw me and he just kind of saw me hanging out in the courtyard and just kind of bantering back and forth. And then he saw my set and he was like, "Dude, you're really funny. Like, you want to do this roast battle? We're looking for some guys." So
Well, that sounds great, man. Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for coming in today, Jeremy, and hanging out with us and, sharing some of your stories and fun
Appreciate
stuff
it,
with us. And feel free to hang out, hang out in the studio and be, just chip in here and there. But we're going to move on now and talk about some other things. But thank you so much. Hey, everybody,
Yeah.
check him out at the Joint. It's Jeremy Montez. It's going to be at 8 p.m. Is it tomorrow night, you said?
no, it is next Thursday.
Next Thursday. Next Thursday, put it on your calendar if you want to check out some comedians going at each other, kind of a la Jeff Ross style. Then go see Jeremy over there. All right.
That's good.
So, Rich, what's going on with you, man? What's new with your world?
Well, man, just staying busy. We got a lot of different irons in the fire and doing different things. But we got, like I said, we've got this Saturday. I'm going to be up in Marmaduke at the Marmaduke Fire Department. And actually, I might as well start promoting it now because it's going to be an awesome event and it's really growing a lot of attention.
Okay.
April 5th, I think it is. Yeah, April 5th. Natural State Wrestling is going to be putting on an event out in Searcy at the Carmichael Center, I believe it is.
Amen.
Is it Searcy?
Yeah, say
Okay,
Searcy.
I always say it wrong.
No, it's okay.
always
I
do.
know you're from Michigan. I'm
It
just
is.
helping you out. I don't want the
It's like
Searcy
how,
people to give you hell.
the town that I'm from in Michigan is actually pronounced Saline, and every time, they're like, oh, it's saline.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
it's not a
Well, that's
solution.
here. It's Saline County.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
not like a saline solution, but Saline County, or as I call it, the SC.
Right.
Yeah, like the OC, but
But
the SC.
no, definitely check that out. It's a benefit show, benefit event. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I say, wrestling right out there, and I know we got a lot of fans in the Searcy. Searcy, is that it?
That is it.
Searcy,
You did it.
did I
You
say
did it,
right?
man.
All right.
You did it.
We got
You
it
did
right
That's
there.
great, man. That's
There
great.
you go. But yeah, April 5th, bell time 7 p.m. Tickets are $10 or $5 if you donate 3 items.
Okay.
And basically, like
That's cool.
yeah. They're
That's
looking
super cool,
for,
actually.
socks, shelf-stable food, cans of chili, yeah.
All right, so let's talk about, let's go into this. We talked again, this is something that we've been talking about over the past couple weeks. And again, here you go. This is why I think people have absolutely lost their minds. All right. A morbidly obese 33-year-old man was arrested in Texarkana, Texas. Police on Tuesday arrested him because he had a mini four-wheeler and was ramming into a Tesla Cybertruck. The attack was captured by the Cybertruck's Sentry Mode video security system because it's a Tesla. It's got video for when people come up and do stuff. Said the man may be responsible. He is responsible, they've determined, for several other attacks on Teslas in that day. Video showed the Cybertruck shows the attacker almost getting thrown off as he rams into the Tesla, then switches to reverse. And it says that we arrested 33-year-old DeMarcane Cox this afternoon after damaging multiple Tesla vehicles in separate incidents across the city. The first report came from the Golden Palace restaurant, where he took his four-wheeler and rammed it into a parked Tesla. While officers were looking for him, another call came in at a Tesla at a Lowe's parking lot. Shortly after that, they spotted him riding the four-wheeler near Summerhill in New Boston, recognized he was a suspect. He initially gave him a false name, but was quickly identified and taken into custody. So at least 4 of them that he rammed his four-wheeler into What I mean is,
I think it's really funny that he was oversized on a mini four-wheeler
No, that
hanging
is
out the
funny.
Chinese buffet, but
yeah, no,
dude, I don't get it. Like, where did they this does not affect Elon Musk
no,
at
it's
all. It's not like he's having to replace
again,
these cars.
you know, these people are trying to eat just like you are,
Right.
And you see their Tesla, and you're like, oh, I hate Elon. Let me hit your Tesla.
Right.
You know, that'd be like going, you know what? I hate
Henry Ford. so
I
I'm
hate
gonna-
Trump. I'm going to punch you in the face.
Right, yeah.
You know, that's an asinine. It's the dumbest thing in the world. And I feel like these people have just snapped, man. It's like, you know, I get it. You don't like it. Okay. Everybody understands that. But look, I've lived my whole life with, you know, 50% of people don't like the person who won.
Right.
You know, they don't like the rules or the policies they make. And they,
But you just deal with
but
it.
you just deal with it.
You
right?
speak up when
But
the
now
next 4 years rolls
you're running your four-wheeler into Teslas, which is probably a felony if I'm betting. I mean, if you do any damage at all and you do 4 of them, you're going to get in trouble.
I wasn't a fan of Obama, but you didn't see me running through. Never mind. I'm not going to finish that joke.
No, don't finish that joke. But you know, I was down the first time with Obama. I really was. I'm not going to tell you I didn't vote for him because I did.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say I regretted that, but I didn't do it again because he screwed up my health care.
Right.
And I mean that sincerely. I mean, I was already paying way too much for health care as it was. And as soon as they opened that up, it just gave all the companies permission to kill us.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. I was paying $1,200 a month for my family to have health care.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a lot of money, man. And then not only that, it had a corridor deductible of like $5,000.
That you had to meet before, yeah.
So, you know, the first year I didn't get to my benefits until November. The second year I never passed that.
Right.
So I
you're
was just
always
like,
just paying out of pocket.
I was just paying out of pocket. And so I just said, screw it. I'll just
I
pay out
feel
of
like
pocket.
that with my insurance plan now, though, man.
I have learned now, look, there's no doubt there, and I'm getting ready to get health insurance again.
Yeah.
Because there are maintenance issues that make it much easier if you have health insurance, things that you should do.
Right.
You know, you should get colonoscopies, you should get regular mammograms or whatever. it
Right.
is
All the
that you
normal
need.
checkups.
Yeah,
and
those
just to be
things.
sure that, yeah.
But I'll tell you this, in the past 2 years that I didn't have health care, everything got way cheaper.
yeah.
Because I didn't know that the pharmacies, if you hand them your insurance card, they're not going to tell you, you know, you could buy this cheaper, right? Without insurance.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like what? What do
Right.
you mean I can buy it cheaper without insurance? Every medication I have, almost all of them went down in cost.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I pay less cash than I'd ever did with my insurance, except
And you
early
use,
on,
like,
I had a copay one time that was like a $25 copay for any medication. I did have that once, but half of my medications now are $10, $4, $8. You know.
and did you use an app or you just like I'm talking like, you know,
I
because there's
did.
like Good RX. and
Yeah,
stuff
I
out
did
there.
use GoodRx for a while, but I don't now because now I know what the cash price is.
Right.
So I will use it if GoodRx is cheaper, but again, it's often not cheap.
So just straight out,
Just
nothing,
cash,
just
man.
straight out
Just
cash. Just
cash.
what's it going to cost
Ask
to buy?
them what it costs, and you might be shocked.
I may,
You
I
might
may.
be shocked,
I'll have to
you
ask.
know.
Because I was going to say,
My-
really, what you're talking about, I'm on the opposite side of that spectrum. I feel like.
Yeah.
Because I have health insurance deducted out of my normal 40-hour-a-week job.
Right.
I have health insurance deducted out. It's about $150 every 2 weeks. That's for me and my kiddo.
That's good value.
All right, and
if
then
it's
we
good
have,
insurance.
Well, and then we have like a $3,000 deductible that has
Oh.
to be met.
Yeah.
And then, like, for his medicine, I won't say what he had, but for his medicine, it's even with insurance, it's $50.
I would-
And that's
I would-
a 1 month supply.
I would ask them if you paid cash for it, how much it would be.
Okay.
And find out. And I don't encourage you at that price to get rid of it.
Right.
You know, especially if you have a kid that's school age.
Right. Absolutely.
Because anything can happen, and you need catastrophic coverage at
Absolutely.
the least. But yeah, you would be like my doctor that I go to now, my primary care physician, Dr. Michael Cattell at Cattell Clinic. He's a cash pay doctor.
Okay.
So I don't. He doesn't use insurance. He doesn't take insurance. I just go pay cash.
Right.
And I actually pay less than I was when I had insurance.
Wow.
Yeah, believe it or not, I
That
do.
is an amazing. I mean, that's a go for him being a good doctor because you don't.
Well, he is. I mean, you got to pay for things a la carte, but you'd be amazed if you just pay for X-rays instead of insurance paying for it.
Right.
How much cheaper they are.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, but they don't
you know?
just tell you that when you go. They're not going to tell you, well, you can get this much cheaper.
Right, of course
Which
not.
is, kind of sorry, but still, whatever.
But I mean, go for him being a doctor that cares
Oh,
about
yeah.
the actual patient.
Well,
over the money.
that was why he was affiliated with a large system here. I had seen him for probably 5 years at that point, and really have always enjoyed him as a doctor. He's a good doctor, and but the office visits kept going up and up and up.
Yeah.
But that was a problem. But what his problem was, he said, "Listen, I can't do this corporate medication because basically." He said they would tell him, this is what you're going to prescribe in these events.
Okay.
This is what you're going to do. You're going to follow this menu.
Gotcha.
If they got this, you do this. If they got this, you do this. And he was like, yeah, but that's not being a doctor. That's just
Being a
following.
corporate.
Yeah, that's just handing out medicine.
Right.
And he didn't like that. And he said, I want to go outside the system where I can be a real doctor.
Right.
And treat the whole patient. And he does.
Were we having a conversation about that sometime? I feel like there was sometime recently.
Maybe.
That it was either here or when we were off air or something, but
I think probably off air.
I remember hearing something about there was like a website out there or something you could go and look at and see like which doctors take the most cut from like insurance.
Yeah,
companies.
there is a website for that. I don't know that website, but yes, there's a
know it either. I'll have
website
to
where
find
you
out
can
about
go and find out what medications your doctor reps.
Yeah.
Or if they're making money from them.
Gotcha. Okay.
And amazingly, there's more of that than you think.
Yeah.
There's
That's
a lot
what I
more
remember
of that.
them talking about, and it was a really good topic of conversation. And
Yeah, very interesting. Let's see what everybody's saying. Hold on. Go ahead.
I was gonna say not too much. Darren Riggin, he said, "What's up, bros?" Brandon said he has free Medicare and Medicaid. He's a little boogered up, so.
Brad said insulin isn't cheap. Insulin pumps and supplies. No, you're right.
Where did you see that at?
Right here. I'm just looking at it here.
Oh, hey, look, I just refreshed.
Yeah, hit refresh maybe. Yeah. He says, Brandon said, I have Medicare and Medicaid and Medicare because, he's messed up. So he says anyway. But yeah, insulin has gotten outrageous. I think the price went down somewhat on it.
Yeah.
But I do remember Corey complaining about how much it had gone up. And
Yeah.
he started going to pharmacies outside the U.S. And as a matter of fact, I've got a friend of mine. We were just talking about him last night. I don't want to say too much, but my friend has gotten into the peptide revolution.
What's
And
the peptide?
peptides are something people are talking a lot about that you can use. They are injected. And you may be able to take them otherwise, I don't know. But there's different ones that produce different effects for health. One of which you can buy basically like a kit where you mix up it's what you call a compound.
Okay.
Okay. So they'll send you the powder that is the GLS-1,
Okay.
Ozempic,
Oh, okay.
and a liquid base that you mix it with. And then if you mix it up, you're getting it for maybe $20 to $40 instead of $1,400.
Oh, okay. So you got to
Yeah.
kind of play your own. Yeah.
Right, but
your own-
you have to know, where to go to get peptides and things like that because
Gotcha.
you buy them from outside of this market.
Okay. Right.
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
I got you.
Outside
I
of this
see.
market.
Yeah.
But he's done an S ton of research on it. It's what a lot of celebrities do and are talking about now.
Yeah, because they can't afford the medicine.
Well, no, I just what I'm saying. They get the best of the best. You know what I
Right.
mean? So whatever they're doing is what you're going to be doing in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
When plastic surgery, you can probably remember when it wasn't common.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's very
now
common.
you can go down on every street corner and get Botox.
Go
or
10
something.
years back, you see all the celebrities do it, then it falls into us, right?
Right. Oh, hang on. My
Uh-oh.
alarm's going on.
Sounds like an alarm's going off over there. This must be a great time for a song. Yeah, what do you say? Let's do that then, right?
Through the rubble I rise, after being left for dead. Now I'm looking for trouble, all my gauges are red. Maybe to your dismay, to learn I'm not finished. I've not gone away, and I won't be diminished. I know how you want it to be, I know exactly what you expect. But if you're out and see me, you better damn well come correct. My head is on a swivel, not gonna be blindsided. It seems your very best play may have been short-sighted. The streets don't give a damn about your so-called pedigree. You think I'm on the lam, but I'll be the one you don't see. I know how you want it to be, I know exactly what you expect. But if you're out and see me, you better damn well come correct. Correct. I know you're walking proud, got that nose way up in the air. You just better hope we don't meet until then. Well, take care. I know how you want it to be, I know exactly what you expect. But if you're out and see me, you better damn well come correct. You better damn well come correct. Come correct. Through the rubble I rise, after being left for dead. Now I'm looking for trouble, all my gauges are red.
Yes, they are. Patrick and the people, it is Thursday, right?
Yeah, is it Thursday?
I think it is.
Thursday.
So listen, everybody, this is kind of fun. Yesterday, right after the show, because we have our own show after the show, and I swear to God, someday we're going to, well, we did start filming it yesterday, didn't we?
Oh, well, yeah.
And,
yeah. I
so-
need to continue on.
Yeah, so yesterday we made some prank calls after the show, and they were pretty damn good. I don't want to give away too much of it, but basically somebody, I think Luke actually, it was
Yeah,
Luke.
it was definitely Luke.
It was
yeah,
Luke.
it
Yeah,
was
Luke had the
100%.
idea. He said, wouldn't it be funny if you called places and had Rich announce you like a wrestler before you get on the phone? And we really took it to the limit, man. We took it to the limit. And the last one, God bless her, she was a trooper, man.
Oh, dude, she was hanging in there for the longest.
She was not going to be derailed. She continued with it. It was a hotel reservation on that one. We called, what do we call it? Dental clinic?
We called a dental clinic. We called
A Dollar General. He
That
was
dude
he was mad.
Man, we got people trying to work, man.
Yeah, no, it's great, man. You're gonna love it. We'll try to get that out on April 1st for you.
Oh, dude.
I'm waiting on Luke to send me the
You know
video.
what? Credit to the hotel lady though, because
No, she was
we
a
ran
pro.
we ran out of stuff, man.
No, she was a pro.
Yeah, dude. She hung in there till the end. So
Did when you were a kid, did you make prank calls?
yes and no. I mean, yes, but nothing that was ever, It was funny when you were a kid, is your refrigerator running? No,
Right. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
But no, yeah.
Yeah, I heard. So, what was the one somebody said yesterday that was like that? I was like, yeah, no, I've heard it all.
Yeah.
All those silly ones. Now we were much badder kids than that, to be honest with you, Rick. Me and my middle brother Brandon would, who is now a very well-respected business person, an IT professional, very big IT professional at Rogers. I don't even know if he would even admit it, but we used to prank call people, and back in the day, you didn't have cell phones, obviously.
Right.
You know, we barely had phones, people. But you'd go to Radio Shack and you'd buy this thing. It was a jack on one end that plugs into a tape recorder, and then a suction
okay.
cup that would go on the phone so you could hear what the other people were saying.
Okay.
So you could record the whole call.
Right.
And we.
Is that how they used to make crank anchors?
I don't know if it is or not, but I know that we would just call and harangue people.
Yeah.
And, like this old lady one time, as soon as she answered, and I don't know what was going on, but I burped and had one in the cannon and I ripped one too. And, this lady, you could tell she was so old, like 80. You could just hear it in her voice. And she's like, "You make me sick. You make my stomach turn." I swear to God, me and my brother thought that was the funniest thing on the planet. We must have
Right.
listened to that a gazillion times.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was so stupid,
Right, right.
But prank calls are a lot of fun when they're done properly.
What a like easier time of life though, where people are like, "Oh, you're wasting time on my phone."
Yeah,
That's,
well, people, you didn't have caller ID.
Right.
I've told the story before, but before the advent of online porn, the first thing you had was phone porn. Literally, you would dial a 900 number, okay, and it would be a recording of, ladies saying
Whatever.
nasty stuff to you,
Right.
And so, again, being a kid, me and my brother we'd go to Safeway all the time. And so they had payphones there. And back then, you could call the operator on the payphone and charge a call to your home phone.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we said, I got in the phone book, found a name randomly, and called the operator and said, "I'm so-and-so. I want to place a call and charge it to my home phone." And she said, "Okay, let me verify. Hold on." And so you can still hear everything, but we're muted from the call.
Right.
And you hear the lady answer the phone, clearly his wife, and she says, "Yeah, that's fine. I feel certain I caused a divorce. I feel absolutely certain of it because we spent 30 minutes on that 900 number at $2.99 a minute." And when that phone bill came in and that guy goes, "I swear to God it wasn't me." She's like, "You're a lying sack of shit. You know it was. Why did you call the 900 number?"
Right.
And it was all some dumb teenage kid.
For a half hour even.
Yeah, oh no, we.
Oh, God.
Listen, when it got to the Chinese
You said
ladies,
you had a meeting at the office.
when it got to the Chinese ladies that liked each other, that we couldn't hang up that call.
Right.
I was like 14 and he was like 10.
That was like the jackpot for you. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We were so dumb. We were just so damn dumb, bro.
Good morning, Crystal Ann. She says.
Oh, good morning,
"Congratulations."
Crystal. How are you?
She says show 101, and she's on her way to North Little Rock.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, Northsider, that's where we are right now. So feel free to pop by the studio anytime that you want.
What was, man, I'd love to hear from the listeners, like what was their favorite pranks done as a kid,
Yeah.
That'd be a fun.
Now, what do you have a favorite prank call?
Not a favorite prank call, but like when I was a kid, what we used to do, because my dad in the morning, and it was the running April Fool's joke.
Okay.
But in the morning, he had a very specific schedule. He'd wake up, he'd smoke a cigarette, he'd want his first cup of coffee, and, coffee had to be black, no
Yeah, that's how my
cream,
dad
no
was.
Sugar,
No,
and he wanted to sit there and watch
and
news.
if you drink it any other way, he would mock you.
Yeah. And he had to sit there and watch the news. So what we would do is we'd either put sugar in his coffee, like a little bit of sweet and low in the morning, or we'd make tea and make it like real dark, and then
So he'd think-
so he'd think it's a cup of coffee in the coffee pot, and then
Yeah.
we'd go get it, and he'd take his first sip and
And spit it out.
spit it all out. And
Yeah.
go, what in the world? And we'd be dying from laughing.
Oh man, my dad, he had a sense of humor, but that wasn't the kind.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
my
dad
dad
was
was
great,
a salt and pepper shaker thrower. If it was empty, he'd throw it across the room.
Oh,
I mean, he was just an ass. I don't know why. He just was. So we didn't prank him very much. His humor wasn't very good. But my mom, he was funny.
Yeah.
But he just didn't like us
Well,
playing
it's-
jokes on him.
right,
It was
right.
no, not the kids.
He
you
can
know.
give it, yeah.
No, but now my mom, she was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could prank her. She was an easy mark, to be honest.
I'd love to jump scare people, I'd jump out of something.
Oh yeah. No, me too.
Oh, God, that was the
I-
best.
My mom would get so mad at me because, like one time I hid 15 minutes under a pile of clothes while she was folding them. there were 5 of us. So she would just pile them all onto the living room floor and start folding them. And I just laid under there for a good solid while so she'd be real comfortable. She's sitting there watching her show, and then just out of nowhere, I jumped out. Ah!
Yeah.
Oh, my God. She was so, I think she ran to the other room.
So, funny story. Yeah, that's what I would do. My dad actually got me back horribly one time.
Yeah?
I was a teenager, and he planned it all out. And so, I went to school, and then school was just, not even a mile from the house, so I walked.
As did I.
Right, and I'd get home, and my first chore was like, hey, you need to wash the dishes. Okay, so I come home from school in the afternoon. Nobody's home. I'm always by myself,
Yeah.
Throw on my headphones, with my little Walkman, and I'm getting ready to, wash the dishes, and I'm jamming out to music. I didn't know that my dad had gotten off work early that day.
Oh.
And he knew Rich is home right now, and he's doing his chores, and he's going to be alone.
Yeah.
So he parked around the other side of the house.
Oh, no.
And I come in, I'm doing it, my chores and everything, and he sneaks up behind me in the kitchen. I mean, I can't hear him. I've got my music blaring. Grabs me by the ribs, man. And just, thank God he had a hold of me, because I jumped so high I would have gone through our ceiling.
Oh, wow.
Like, dude, gave me a heart attack at 14.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I almost hit him in the head with a frying pan.
You're
I thought
talking
it was
about
somebody
dishes.
breaking in, yeah.
So, again, me and my middle brother, we were the chore doers.
Yeah.
And so when it came to dishes, we took turns. One of us would wash, the other would dry and put away.
Right.
That's how it went, And on this particular day, because as you can imagine, my brother and I also like to prank each other.
Okay.
And so I abused him many different times. And the day before, I had taken a Twinkie after school and took a straw, put it in, sucked the cream filling out, and refilled it with mustard.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and handed it to him. And he was like beside himself that Big Brother brought him a Twinkie. He's like, this is the coolest thing ever. Thanks, bro.
All right.
And then he bit into it. Oh my God, it was the greatest moment. Just seeing the change on his face from that to, what's going on?
What is going on? Yeah.
And so I was so proud of that moment. I was like, that was very innovative pranking right there, So the next night, it was, he set the table and did all that. And part of setting the table is getting the glasses ready. You get them all iced up and you get the tea in them and everything,
Right.
So we eat dinner, nothing abnormal, And after we're doing the dishes, and my brother says, how'd you like your tea? I said, what do you mean? I liked it fine. Why? He goes, because I put one of those ice cubes in my asshole. Oh, no. Yeah, man. I was like, no, I'm out. You win. I'm done, man. That is the worst, bro. Why could you do that to me, man?
Man.
I know. That's it, man.
rough.
We were terrible, man. We were terrible kids, bro. Who would think to do that to somebody, man?
So, 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
Number 1, well, I guess that answers. I was going to say, what's the worst prank that's ever been pulled on you? And I guess
That's probably it.
I was going to say, does anything beat yeah.
No, that's the all-time game winner in my world.
Was there ever any chores that like one of you were better at than the other, so they got asked to do it all the time? This goes into a story, but yeah.
No, I don't think so because Brandon is more thorough, but he was much slower than I was.
Okay.
I was more prone to mishap, but I wanted to do it
quicker.
I wanted it done quickly so I could get on with the other things I want to do.
Right.
My brother was more the protest style, so he would just slow roll it because, he didn't want to do it.
Right.
So he was going to just milk it forever.
All right, I'll just take my
Yeah.
time, and hopefully somebody will feel sorry for me.
Well,
and
he wasn't going to hurry for anything.
Right. I get it. So, well, that's interesting. Just because, like, I always got stuck washing the dishes because for some reason, I was better at them. I always got them more clean than
Right.
my older brother. And so they're like, Rich, you wash it. Well, I hated washing the dishes.
Who doesn't?
So eventually, I just
still don't
started
like it.
sucking at washing the dishes because I was like, look, if he does them worse than me and I don't want to do them,
So
I'll just stop doing such a good job.
you
so
threw
he's
the
gotta
game.
do 'em. Yeah.
You threw the game. Did he end up having to do
He
them?
started washing them more because
You threw the game. Like, I can throw a touchdown, but I'm going to throw this pick.
Right.
No, that's great,
Yeah,
man.
exactly,
So
yeah.
you burned. Did you ever tell him you burned him like
No,
that?
that's probably the first time this has ever come out.
Oh, wow.
I watch the show.
Oh,
so
wow, man. So
there's a
your
secret
brother's
from
pissed
my
off.
Yeah.
Your brother's
He'll call
now-
me up after the show and be like, damn.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew it the whole time. I knew you were bullshitting, Rich. That's hilarious, man. Are you and your brother, you're still close? You talk?
Yeah. We usually talk.
Where, now, is he here or in Michigan?
No, they're in Michigan.
Yeah?
He lives with my mom, but.
Oh, he does? Okay.
I mean, it's we've talked about him before. He was he's battled some things through his life. He
Sure,
grew up
sure.
with ADD back when
Yeah.
it wasn't really talked about. So.
I know that feeling.
Because of that, he's needs a little extra help.
Yeah, no, I understand.
But
Yeah.
But it doesn't change it at all. We certainly clash heads on a lot of things, but
Do you? Still?
Oh God. Oh, all the time.
Yeah?
Oh, dude. My brother, you ever had one of those people that just no matter what they do, they can just push your button in an instant?
Sure, I'm married to her. Yeah.
Yeah.
I picked her.
He's like, I love that. Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, I need somebody who can handle it. You
Yeah.
know, the banter with me, and she's at times more powerful, and I don't like it.
So yeah, my
are
brother
facts,
is
man.
my brother is that person for
Yeah,
me.
I
He
got
can
you.
just
Yeah.
So yeah, we clash heads often, but on the flip side, I can punch him, but you can't.
Right. No, it's same. Yeah. No, I could fight my brother, but you couldn't.
Right.
And consequently, I whooped many asses over my brother. I was his protector in that case, but I was also his abuser
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
I tortured him as much as any human being ever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know what I'm talking. I'm talking about the stupid things brothers do. Like, here's a stupid thing, and tell me if you've ever done this. If you haven't, I'm going to feel just the worst. But
No, I never shoved an ice cube.
no, you hold them down, their shoulders down, and then you let your spit just go right, and then like it's gonna fall on them. You never did that?
No, I can't say I have, man.
I'm
I
a
can't.
terrible brother, man.
Dude, why?
Because I could.
No wonder. Does your brother suffer from PTSD?
I don't know. He doesn't seem to be. He's pretty wealthy, and I think I suffer from PTSD. Because I've lost at every curve with him. He's amazing, man. No, he's awesome. He's the
That is
dude.
why.
The dude graduated college with a degree in math and English, so he had
Yeah.
a double degree, right? They sent him during his math time to a place in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, a nuclear facility, where he studied the mathematical theory of chaos, which I thought was some shit Jeff Goldblum just made up in Jurassic Park,
Right.
right? But it's real. So that's how good at math he was, right? So then, while he was putting himself through college, though, he started as a programmer, became, good at programming. And so then he was doing so good with that, he didn't need his math and English degree because he was doing IT work. Well, he continued to progress, and he was over over at Children's Hospital, the interface of the heart doctor's computers.
Yeah.
Which is pretty important
Right,
stuff. you
yeah.
know. And so
Yeah, tell me what
he
helps
said,
you.
I want to be a lawyer, a constitutional lawyer. I'm a lawyer. And so he he went to school and not only graduated law school, he was second in his class, and he wrote a book
Wow.
about how to pass the bar. Ask me how many days he practiced law.
How many?
0.
Wow.
Because by the time he graduated law school, he was making so much IT money,
That.
it would be a downgrade to be an attorney.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, go him.
No, that's what I say. Go
That's-
him. I wish my parents had told me to get a degree. I can't blame them. It's my own fault.
You got a degree.
Yeah,
You
I
got a
have
degree in talking shit.
I do have that degree. I've earned my way. So it's one of those things though where you look back and you go, man, I should have probably taken advantage of that GI Bill I had and went to school free, but I was too busy. I started out at 19 with an instant family because I got married and instantly had 3 kids, which is insane, right? She was 36.
Wow.
I was 19.
Okay.
Yeah. So who was wronged there? I don't know. I was suspected perhaps I was victimized, but I was victimized by choice. You know what I mean? I was a dumbass, but I thought I did the trifecta. She smoked weed like Led Zeppelin.
I mean, at 19 years old, yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you like Zeppelin, weed, and you're willing to have sex with me.
You're right. That was
that
the
was
top
a win
3
at
things.
19,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
And now you get to about 25, and you go, maybe there's more to life than Led Zeppelin and weed, and then you start to realize, hey,
I was just having that conversation with somebody the other day who's been helping me out. She's been watching Jax on spring break while
Oh, yeah?
She's a local babysitter, but a teenager, you know. And we were just having that conversation yesterday because she was like, oh, I don't mind helping out. And, I had a friend pop over and he gave me something. And anyways, and she was like, I'll always help out people and, give them whatever they need. And I was like, that's very honorable. And, that's awesome of you. But, understand that at some point in life, you're going to have some discernment between,
Yeah, you have to have a value for yourself and for your time.
Right.
But it's hard to understand as a teen. She's just trying to get approval and go, hey, I'm willing to do more, in order to accomplish it. But you're right. I mean, at a point, you can't, it's just like if you're drowning. You can't rescue someone else if you're drowning.
Right.
You have to be able to swim and be in control. Otherwise, you're both going to drown,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's no different, with your own life. I mean, if you're busy helping everyone, when are you helping you?
Right. But it was funny that you had mentioned that about 25 because that was exactly what I had said. I was like, usually you start to get a pretty good idea about 25.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then after that, it's all down.
Girls may be sooner because girls are always smarter in that regard. They progress more quickly.
Right.
In, what would I call it? Poise and professionalism.
Yeah.
They arrive normally before us idiot men. But 25 is about right for men. They start to go, okay, maybe I need to not just play and actually focus. Now, God loves some of these folks, and I'm glad to see it. Some of the younger people are really starting to dig in and do smart things, take the right college courses instead of some of these junk ones that don't do them any good.
Right.
And you're seeing some younger people really starting to make money.
Yeah.
For a long time, they've said Gen Z would be the brokest generation, and they are, but they're on track to become the wealthiest generation.
Yeah.
Probably because they'll take all mom and dad's money. I know I'm giving it away, so.
Hey, everybody's saying they're missing little doggy this morning.
I know,
I'm not sure
man.
where
I
he's
don't
at.
know where Mike is today. I'm not sure if he wasn't feeling well or he might have had an early start to his work day.
Right.
Little doggy, Mike. Some people knew him as Rickshaw Mike at the station that sold its soul. That's what we referred to him as.
Oh, he worked at the station?
Well, no, but he was a regular contributor, guest, commentator, sometimes a fill-in here and there. And but anyway, Mike runs a print shop, and he's almost a one-man gang. And when I tell you a print shop, if you walked in this thing, you would be amazed. There's probably, I don't know, 20, 25 machines. And these machines, a lot of them are called Heidelbergs.
Okay.
If that gives you any idea how old they are.
Right.
These machines were last produced in the 60s and 70s.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so you're still operating them.
That'd be some nostalgia for me.
Man, it's a really,
Well,
it's cool, but sometimes, if he has big runs, he has to go in early, set everything up, and do all
Right.
that. So
My,
he's a busy guy.
My dad was a delivery driver for a printing company
Really?
for ever. And
Yeah, he was
that's,
a courier, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, oh man, that brings some, because I used to love going to a shop and just smelling all the printers. And
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
just,
There is
it was just such a smell that was
there's
all right.
something unique and interesting about a printing environment
It
like
is.
that.
It
And I don't
is.
know why, but you are right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something cool.
Just all the machines clanking and everything.
Yeah,
and man, it
it's
was
real
just,
guyish.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like being inside a Chevelle motor or something. You know, you're like,
You going Tim Allen on me there?
Yeah, everywhere you turn, you're just like another gear, another pulley. Yeah, I love it. You know.
But it is a weird, strange phenomenon. But yeah.
Yeah, that's wild though. All right, let's talk about this. Strange thing happening to people who chat GPT a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Better look at it.
Researchers have found that chat GPT power users, or those who use AI the most and at its longest durations, are becoming dependent upon or addicted to AI.
Oh yeah, we were talking about this yesterday. A little
Yeah,
bit.
And this is a new joint study, researchers with OpenAI and MIT, and they're saying that people are having a harder and harder time, and you're starting to see people talk about relationships they're having with chatbots.
Right.
You know, which is kind of wild. But I
They
say
have
all this.
apps out for that. They actually have like apps out, like it'll
Yeah,
be like
no,
a
I
digital
think-
like AI thing that you know message on your phone.
and you can get them.
I've only seen them advertised. I don't use them or anything.
Right.
But
you can get those people nice or naughty too.
Right,
Your
yeah,
AIs, right?
yeah.
But here's my question. I saw an article, and this is something that's been talked about a lot recently, but I don't know if I believe. Is there a loneliness epidemic?
I think so.
You do.
Oh yeah.
You really do.
Absolutely.
Tell me more.
Well, I mean, really, for lack of a better term, take me. Take me, for example. Like, you know, part of the reason why I've been single for so long is because at the base of it all, like, there is some, you know, past trauma and hurt there. And there is a fear of, you know, hey, I don't, but also at the end of it, like, I just don't have the energy for it anymore. I don't want to go through all the, you know, what's your favorite
But
color?
isn't that-
blah, blah.
but is-
then because of that, it leads to that, you know, it'd be nice to have somebody to talk to at 10 o'clock at night when I'm not, you know,
Yeah.
able to go to sleep and just want to tell somebody about my day. And I could see where AI could fill that in for.
No, I do see that.
It's creating a false sense of reality, but yeah.
Yeah, so to speak. I mean, is it? I mean,
Well, I
look,
mean, yeah,
maybe it's not.
because-
Maybe it's not. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, there's nothing cheap about being in a relationship.
That's true.
AI might cost you a subscription.
Right.
You know, can you imagine somebody whose subscription got shut down on their AI girlfriend? Oh my God! But I miss you. But
I'm going to go to Walmart right now.
so it would be less expensive, but it does lack the physical companionship.
yeah.
And I'm not just talking about sex. I'm just talking about intimacy, being close to a human being.
Right.
You know, which is
right. The human touch, yeah.
I guess when people say loneliness epidemic, I don't know, is it any more so than it once was, though? Is it more today than it was?
Well,
I mean, what do you think? Do you think it's different than 10
I
years
wouldn't
ago?
know. I mean, I would think so, just based off the amount of, you know, again, when you're looking at the whole picture, you have technology, which is a huge part of it. You know, everybody has their heads buried into their phones or
Yeah.
computers
No,
or
it's true.
TVs or anything. You know, we have lost a lot of that just daily human connection, you know? When's the
Well-
last time you remember walking down the street and being like, hey, how you doing? And striking up a conversation
No,
with somebody
that's-
outside a store for a half hour.
Well, that's a fair point. I mean, I do it more often than most, but it's because I'm out. I'm a realtor, right?
And
You know, that's my job.
Right.
You know, but
and also, you have a little bit of a celebrity status with you. People want to talk to you.
some people,
Yeah.
particularly bill collectors.
Yeah.
But no, I think that maybe this onset pretty heavy in the pandemic or the lockdowns and all that. I
mean, I would agree.
I think that hit a lot of people really hard. And I think that a lot of people, look, it was hard. I remember during that time, and I don't like belaboring on that time because we're past it, but I remember I worked from home for a year
Yeah.
on the radio.
Yeah.
You know, so I was all set up just like this is at my house.
Right.
And we were connected that way, and that's how we did it. And so I walked about 15 feet to my office every morning.
Right.
In whatever the hell I wanted to wear, you know, pants or not. And
Patrick
so
was like, this is a dream. Yes.
yeah, it was great. And so then they said, listen, we need you to start coming back to the studio.
Right.
And I was like, but it was so good for me that I did because when I went back out into the world, so to speak, because it
Right.
was very, I'd go to the store and back home, and
Right.
that was it.
Right.
And if we could get it delivered, we got it delivered. And so going back out, it was so surreal, so weird. It felt foreign. It felt like it was almost, I don't want to do it.
Right.
I've been away from people so long and all of this so long, I don't know that I can reinsert myself into it. you know? And so it took me a good 6 months, literally, to be comfortable again.
Wow.
I know. It was wild. I was like, man, I don't know if this is permanent or not when it was happening. So I can only imagine that while I may have gotten over it, and to your point, maybe I had help because I'm interacting with so many people through my show, right?
Right.
And that certainly helps. But I have to imagine there are a lot of people who didn't have that.
Right.
And
right.
maybe, to your point, they don't want to go through it. They don't want to be in the scene. They don't want to go to clubs.
Right.
They
It's
they
just
don't
not
have
your-
enough money. They're raising kids. Life is busy. And it's harder and harder because, as you said, we're resistant and we're digital now.
Right.
And so courtship as it once was,
Is not.
no, I mean now, back then, look, this sounds silly, but it was harder to communicate with a significant other. then.
Absolutely.
And so if you had one, you tried to work through things because it was hard to find another one. It took a lot of damn work.
Right. Right.
Now you're online doing your online thing,
And there's so many.
and a month in, they say something online you don't like, and you're like, yeah, I'm done. I'm out.
Right.
You're like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. It's easy to pull the trigger and say, it's easier to bounce now than ever.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
It is. And so many people at that time moved all of their communication to social media.
Right.
And so now, people find a lot of validation there, or they go air all their bullshit.
Right.
You
Which
know.
still gives them the validation that,
I guess so,
you're going to get
yeah.
people that join on, misery loves company.
Well, they do most of the time, but even the internet recognizes when you've been doing it too long.
Yeah.
And you see these people. I know people still to this day who go. I'll see their post and they're really negative, and they might have 1 like, 2 likes on it.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody's digging it, but because they just keep going. It gets like, do you ever find happiness?
Right.
Yeah, and I know that's a tough question, but
And no,
if,
I mean,
if
the
you're
answer is
online
no.
complaining all the time, you have to ask yourself, what's going on here?
Right.
Hold on. Clapper! What up? Diamond mining today. Send us some diamonds.
Brandon was saying there's a lot more competition online, too.
There is, obviously.
And I agree with that. You think online, you always think, oh, there's another avenue, there's another
Yes,
option.
absolutely. There's another dating service, there's another human, there's another social media, there's
Absolutely.
another anything, And so I think it's harder to get into meaningful relationships, and people pull the trigger real quick when things aren't exactly the way they want.
Right.
And I think if there's anything, I think we've self-perpetuated this
Well, and I
loneliness
think-
epidemic.
I think that kind of plays into, you hear toxic things, and I hate to throw that word out there because
No,
it seems
I know
like
it's
attached to so much.
overused, but still, I get you.
I do strongly believe there is such a thing as toxic positivity. Like when you just you have to understand that not everything is always going to. Life isn't made that way.
Oh.
Not everything is always going to make you happy. Not every decision is always going to feel good. And there's so many people that go into that, to your point exactly, that, oh, I don't like the way that feels. I don't like
Yeah.
that it made me mad, so I'm
Yeah.
just going to ditch it.
Yeah.
You're not going to build any character that way.
Well, no,
you have to go through those things.
Look, if you stop and think about any relationship you've ever had in your life, a sibling, a parent, your best friend,
Right.
all of them involve disagreements.
Absolutely.
Every one of them did. So why would you expect that you're going to share life with another human being and not have disagreement?
Right.
It's a fictional thought.
Right.
That we're never going to have a disagreement.
Right.
That's a fallacy. That's
Right.
false thinking. As you said, it's toxic positivity.
Absolutely.
Because your expectations out of line.
But then you go online and you're seeing ABC
everybody-
couple having fun
No.
and dancing and stuff, and you're like,
That's
well,
right.
why don't I look like that?
Right, because what they show on social media is the best of the best. But
Right.
what you don't see is what's happening behind the scenes when they argued right before they did the dance video. They were pissed off at each other. That's why the dance was so good, to be honest, because they were mad as hell.
Right.
But you don't see that.
Right.
And so that's the problem is we paint these pictures with false images of what's going on.
Exactly.
I remember seeing this lady who was
What's up, Logan?
an outdoor enthusiast and hiker and stuff like that, and it was showing. She's making all these videos showing how athletic and outdoorsy she is.
Yeah.
And then come to find out, she was doing all the videos basically within a piece of 10 acres of her land that had different looks on it. And it looked
Yeah.
like she was going different places.
And
And it wasn't real.
Right.
It wasn't real. And so many of the things you see that you think people are doing
Aren't
it's not
really-
exactly
yeah.
real.
Have you seen the picture of like somebody with like that holds up a toilet seat, and if you put a picture of clouds behind it, it looks like you're on an airplane, like a window seat?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No,
they're
but,
like,
but
"Oh, I'm
that's
flying off," but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's things like that. Or they have like you can rent. They have a Learjet or a personal private jet.
Right.
It's decommissioned, but people go and film videos in it.
Right.
Because and then they can act like they're on that private jet living that
Yep.
lifestyle. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? It's a set.
Right.
And that's what you have to. It's hard to differentiate between the set
And the
of content and who's real.
right. Right.
Because another example is, and I just watched a documentary about it. This lady who was super popular, she had like a mom talk.
Yeah.
I think it was called something
Okay.
like that, and everybody loved her. She was kind of a little bit stricter mom, but she put a lot of content up. People loved it, and then you come to find out later. Now she's in prison, I think, or going to be there,
Right.
Because she was abusing her kids,
Yeah.
badly,
Right.
and one of them escaped, and that's how it was found out.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, that's the illusion
Of
what you think is perfect online
Right.
was not at all.
No.
It was just a damn illusion. And so the more you look at that as the real world,
The
the
more
worse your
diluted.
expectations are going to be here because they'll never match that fake shit.
But we're so addicted to looking at that world that,
Yeah.
that I mean, that's why I think, again, back to the whole topic, that's why I think loneliness is such an epidemic, man. It's
Tasha Mack said, I'm a magnet for bum dudes or guys trying to get a side chick. They clearly see I wear a ring and they still hit on me. It's gross. You're right.
that is.
There is.
Dude, nobody cares anymore. I mean,
No, they
when
don't.
Everybody's trying for their own, and it pisses me off too. 'Cause
Yeah, no, that-
I'm old fashioned. I was raised old fashioned.
I'm not going to hit on some other dude's wife ever.
No.
Ever. I'm not hitting on anybody because I'm married. But I'm saying even if I was single, your wife ain't the one I'm coming for.
Right.
But that's I'm like you.
In fact, I had a story one time. I was working at a place, and cute chick walked in, and I gave her my phone number. I said, hey, you're over here. I'd love to take you out sometime. Here's my number. Give me a call.
Yeah.
About 20 minutes later, my cell phone rings. Okay. Pick it up. It was her husband. Hey,
Oh.
you gave my wife your number? I said, hey, man, I didn't know that she was married. I didn't happen to notice a ring, but congratulations to you, man. I won't ever bother her
go
again.
ahead and delete that.
Right, go ahead
Yeah,
and
throw it
that
away.
out, man,
Yeah, I didn't know.
Right.
No, I had a girl that like similar in a way, but I was single and I can't remember her name. She's a lovely young lady though, but she acted super interested in me, and so
Right.
I was like, well, let's hang out, or whatever. And so she invited me over to her house, and when I was there, I start looking, and I'm like, there's all these family pictures. I mean, like the Olin Mills type,
Oh,
up
like
on
the
the
fancy
wall.
ones,
Yeah,
right.
you got the mom, dad, kids up there, and they're everywhere. And I'm like,
Somebody right here.
are you single? She goes, oh no, he's at deer camp, and I'm like, oh, I'm not that guy. No, baby, I'm not that. I'm sorry if you thought that I'm that guy, but I'm not.
Right.
I don't know your man, but I wouldn't want anyone to do it to me.
Right.
And I was at her house. I was at home
You were-
plate.
you were there.
No, she was ready to go, bro. She was 9 kinds ready to go, and I was like, no, I can't do it.
I can't, yeah.
I can't. I'm sorry, but I can't do that, man, at all. So you're right. Those guys, guys will send D pics or D videos
yeah,
to,
I mean,
to
they don't-
ladies. They don't care
They
anymore.
don't care. Not at all.
No,
There's
and,
no.
and then half of them are in other countries. You know what I
Right.
mean? You get those guys too. Hello, this is Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
not. I know who you are.
Yeah.
All right.
The other thing I love is all the videos on TikTok of all the supposedly single chicks, and they're really good looking, and I'm like, there's no
Oh.
way.
man, half of those are
If you were
fake.
really, that's what I'm saying. If you
Yeah.
were really single, like, walk outside, you'll find somebody. You don't need
Yeah.
to be on the internet.
No, I'm going to be honest with you. I bet over half, better than 50% of people who meet that way do not make it.
Yeah.
I would say overwhelmingly, but at least half. You know, I'm not going to say you can't meet someone online and it work out. It can, but man, listen, people when they. If there's only a handful of pictures,
Right.
they're all headshots.
Right.
They're all from a little bit of an up angle,
Yeah.
or a little side angle, and there's nothing else. No. If you go to someone's profile and there are only animated pictures, hell no.
Right.
Hell no. No,
how you get
absolutely not.
catfished.
Well, it is exactly what happens. You're going to find out it's a 6'5" heavyset guy who's got diabetes, who's pretending to be Shelly, who Shelly the sex witch. You know what I mean?
Oh, man. Latasha said she shouldn't have taken the number. She should have said, sorry, I'm taken, to my story about the lady that took my number and gave it to her.
Well,
husband.
you're right. Why did she take the number? Well, I'll tell you why she took the number, Latasha. You know why she took the number.
She was flattered.
She wanted to make her husband jealous.
Right. Yeah.
She
that's
wanted to
very
show
true.
that she's still an attractive lady that guys are after, because that makes you feel like, see, my man needs to know.
Right.
I'm still a hot piece out here. Huh? You better take care of business.
Well, I'm glad that I was
and
able to provide that.
some people play those games
That is
for that
true.
reason.
That is, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
100%.
and I've a couple times somebody's tried to catch me up in that, and I'm like, no.
No?
I do not play around like that. If you're married and
Oh,
I was
yeah,
single, I ain't the one.
No, absolutely.
The exception to that might be Rihanna. If Rihanna came up to me and I was single and she was married, I'd still
Rihanna
be
the
like,
singer? Yeah,
I'd be like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to do that.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm probably never going to see you again. It's my one shot and I'm taking it for sure. So that's different though, right?
Hang on, Latasha says, I was just reading her comments here.
Okay.
She said, I've always gotten along with guys better than girls, so I had guy best friends. Stranger guys read it like like she was getting passed around.
Oh, yeah,
Not
that's
sure exactly how their
stupid.
brains work. Older women, that's just insecurity. But anyways, Latasha said also, older women realize after being through so many bad boys, they need to date someone good and respectful if they want a meaningful relationship.
Yeah, that is one of the greatest phenomena in the male-female dynamic, because
Then Jay Sorsby fired right back and says, Latasha, sup, girl?
yeah, Jay, look at Jay. Listen though, what was it you just said? You just said before that.
So we were talking about that she had realized they've gone through so many bad boys, they need to date somebody good
That's
and
right.
respectful.
That's right.
the
The
whole nice guy finish
phenomena.
line.
That's right. The phenomena is that, especially in high school, but in their 20s, bad boys are so attractive.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if you're nice, my mom raised me differently than some.
Right.
And so she raised me to be kind, a gentleman. I know that sounds crazy,
Right.
but it is true. I try to be respectful. I try to be kind. All those things.
Right.
And girls look at that and they're like, "Oh, that's cute."
Right. Oh,
and then
that's
this guy
sweet.
goes, "You're a bitch," and she's like, "I want to sex with you. I want to sex with you now." It's like, what?
Right.
What? I had a girlfriend in high school that was that way, and man, I was just head over heels. Now, in fairness to her, my mom did make me a gentleman, but she also made me overly romantic.
Oh, okay.
Because it was just who she was.
Right.
And so every girl I dated, I was, it was like, "Oh, I love you." You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was
were
a
laying
little
it on
much.
thick.
I was a little much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was so head over heels over this
Your
girl.
bride promise rings and
Man, you're writing poems. You know how it goes, right? And so I'm doing all the right things. And then she started hooking up with my friend, and he was a bad boy.
Right.
And that's what it was. Did she date him after that? No.
No.
No,
but
she had dated me for months, but her out was, I'm going to bang his friend who's, the bad boy I want to bang.
Right.
And then, and I was left out to dry, and that's fine. I'm okay. Obviously, I've done all right. But I'm saying that
say, I
that's
think
how
a
it
little
works.
tear, yeah.
That's how it works, though, man.
I mean, it does. You're right.
Most of the time, if you're super nice, you're really respectful, Girls might think you're a pushover.
Right.
And they're like, nope, not doing it.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm not, but they can get that
No, I
perception.
totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I think that it goes to, I think that's a little bit of Hollywood, planting it is. That's, the bad boy that they calm down and turn sweet, and then he becomes,
Yeah.
the big rough teddy bear.
Right.
And,
Well, let me tell you this. If you ever look at your significant other or someone who's a potential significant other and go, oh, I can change that in them. No, you can't. No, you can't. And you're not going to. Either they'll change it or it won't change.
Right.
But no matter what kind of loving you put on them, no matter how clean the house is, no matter how much money you bring in, no matter any of that, you're not going to change him.
No.
No, if he's a strip club guy, he's a strip club guy. Just go on and figure he ain't going to quit going to the strip club. He's going to do it. You may or may not know, but
Right.
that's who the cat is. And you know strip club guy. Everybody knows strip club guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's the guy that likes to go for lunch.
Yeah.
I
In the
go for
middle
the
of the day,
buffet.
yeah, man. The chicken's really good.
There's no... Hell no. But you know that guy. I'm just going to go have a beer with my buddies at the
Yeah.
strip. Okay, but why at the strip club? Well, it's just where my buddies hang out. Why?
I enjoy the environment.
Yeah,
the
okay.
music,
You like
yeah.
seedy, stinky, booze-filled, desperate,
Right.
hard-up people who are out here throwing dollar bills that they probably don't need to waste. Come on, man.
a beautiful
And that's not a
scene, man.
knock on the strip club. I'm not
No,
knocking
no.
the strip. I'm just making a point that strip club guy is always going to be strip club guy
No, absolutely. You're
until he loses enough not to be.
I had a girlfriend when I was younger that she was like, I don't like that you smoke. I want you to quit smoking.
Yeah.
And I was okay. And every time I was away from her, while I was around her, I won't smoke. I'll pop
Right.
some gum or something.
Yeah.
But as soon as she was dropped off at her door and I was back in my car on the way home.
Look, man, I spent probably 5 years mad at my girlfriend's dad when I was a senior. And I dated her for a little bit. And again, as with all girls I ever dated, just know, if you were dated by me, I was in love with you at that time.
Did you ever, excuse me if I can talk, ever have anybody do that to you? Like go
Yes,
over the top?
yes,
We got to hear that
yes,
story.
yes.
Finish the first one. But yeah.
So anyway, what was I saying? I was saying I was dating.
Yeah, you were dating. We were talking yesterday.
Yeah. What was the girl I was going to tell you about? I was dating. Hold on. Let me back up here.
It was what we had said that I was the one who wanted me to quit smoking, and so
Yeah.
yeah.
I was dating a girl and her dad. And man, I was head over heels for her, man. I just thought she was the moon and the stars, And her dad told her she couldn't date me anymore because I smoked weed.
Oh, okay.
And I was so mad. Looking back, Dad was right. I was not healthy for his daughter at all. And she went on to become a professional and do very well in life because Dad said, hey, this boy's not going to do it right now. And he was right. It took me a good 10 years to become a better human.
Right.
I didn't know it at the time. I was mad,
At the first
but
time,
he was
I was
right.
thinking, what a cockblock. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the one that you're talking about, have I ever been in one where it was too much, where I got over the top?
Thick. Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
Where you're like, look, you're doing too much.
Same year, senior in high school.
Yeah.
The girlfriend that stuck for most of the year after the other one broke up, and we dated even after high school briefly, but we dated for months. I don't know, 6-7 months. Okay. And again, remember, I'm telling you that in spite of the fact that I was a hormonal, horny teenager,
Which
okay?
every male was.
But I mean, just absolutely like any teenage boy, all I wanted was to get in the game and get it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everybody's trying to get that score. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. But again, my mom raised me differently.
Yeah.
So I had told her from the onset, listen, we never have to do anything ever that you're uncomfortable with. I'm not going to ask you. You tell me if you want to, and that's fine. But until then, we'll kiss, do whatever, but I'm not pressuring you in any way for that.
Right.
And that's the truth. That's how I really felt.
Right.
Well, one day she came to me, and she said, yeah, I want to. And that was a banner day, by the way. But then what had happened was she never wanted to go out again. She only wanted to
Oh,
hook
only
up.
wanted-
That's
yeah.
all she would come to my place, and that's all she wanted to do was hook up.
Man, that's a great thing. You
It
threw
was.
it away.
It was for about 6 more months, and then after about 6 months of that, I'm like, maybe we should go to the movies or putt putt. No,
had it set.
no, man. Listen, this girl.
You had hit the
my
jackpot.
my bros, my roommates would be in the living room, and she'd want to rock it out in the bedroom next to the
Yeah.
living room, and I'm like, listen, man, you're making. I can't put a pillow over your face. You're making too much noise. These guys are gonna give me shit, man.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let
no,
them.
man,
Who cares?
no,
Then you go back out and you're like, hey, man, stop being jealous.
No, God love her.
No.
She, you know what? She also is a sweetheart.
You didn't
now.
have to
She did
spend
very
any
well.
money. You didn't have to take
No,
her out
I
anywhere.
get it.
All you had to do was flip on them.
I know,
TV
but
and
I
be
needed
like,
I needed
"Come on
someone
over,
to
babe."
fight more.
Yeah.
I did. I needed more fight in my life. I know that sounds
I
ridiculous.
mean, Tyler. Oh, never mind.
Oh my God, man! Listen, I'm running long today. Listen, let's do this real quick. If you are in need of some CBD, maybe you've got arthritis or something that causes inflammation, or maybe you've got anxiety. Well, how about this? Go to Botanical Alchemy Nutraceuticals. It's BANTX.com. All right, you put in PATP25 and you get 25% off right off the top. What do? They custom tailor CBD sublingual recipes to your specific need, you. So let's say it's for anti-inflammatory, and you take it and you're like, it gets about 70% of it, doc, but I need that other 30%.
Right.
They'll tweak it for you, okay, until it's exactly right, and then every time it ships, it's your recipe, okay? Why is sublingual better? Well, if you take a gummy or a tablet or something like that, your body absorbs 20%. If you do it sublingual, it's 80%. And it's almost instantaneous, where the other has to work through your digestive system, and what's left gets absorbed. And so it's, 30, 45 minutes.
Right.
With sublingual, it's seconds, not even a
Nice.
minute. It's seconds before that kicks in, because that blood-brain barrier is so close. So it's very effective. BANTX.com, BANTX.com. Let's do a song. We'll be right back.
All right.
Turned on the radio today. Cut it off after 2 songs play. Whatever happened to rock and roll? Everything is sad and it blows. Huey was singing now about the heart. ZZ Top jammed about cars. AC/DC shook us all night long. Why are all the good times gone? I just wanna get in my damn car and bump up the speakers without hearing all these songs about depression, dope, and tweakers. I remember days riding with my friends, singing every song to the end. What the hell are they doing now? Sitting together in a car and crying. Sometimes my buddies ask me, how come you don't listen to new stuff? I don't know, but maybe it's because I'm not a damn cream puff. I just wanna get in my damn car and bump up the speakers without hearing all these songs about depression, dope, and tweakers. While all these folks are sad and wailing, I'm sticking with Def Leppard, GNR, and Van Halen. Oh yeah. It always feels like a good jam session, and I don't end up with a bag of depression. I just wanna get in my damn car and bump up the speakers without hearing all these songs about depression, dope, and tweakers.
Sir, we are back. We are back.
Another
All right.
banger, man. You sent
Yeah.
me a whole bunch of those yesterday. I made a playlist out of them. I'm jamming out to them.
Did
in
you
my
really?
car. No, dude.
No, you didn't.
No, 100%.
Did you really?
I have a YouTube music playlist of your AI songs.
No,
now.
you don't.
I'm dead serious.
Really?
Yeah, man.
That's cool
They're
as
good.
hell,
I
man.
enjoy them.
No, that's
I
cool
do.
as hell, man. That makes me feel good, actually. I think that's dope. I'm putting them out, and then I'm probably going to put a Spotify up here. I'm looking into setting that up.
We did submit. I submitted one of them to Clapper for you.
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
they have a music. They don't use common music
no.
like by the big artists.
No, like you know how you go to TikTok and you find the music you want to put behind your video.
Right, exactly.
It's the same on Clapper because it's kind of a clone of TikTok in a way. So you can go use my song
Right.
as your background.
Absolutely.
And
I'm
so,
hoping you get approved for it, man.
yeah,
Really.
I am too. And hopefully we'll get a bunch of them up there and start getting them out in some videos as background and
Yeah.
let them catch on that way. I think that's a cool way to do it.
What up, Shane?
So want to mention very briefly, I am a real estate agent, and yeah, I know, right? And if you are looking for financing, First Horizon Bank here locally is really good. I recommend Josh Taylor. He's the loan officer there.
Yep.
And Josh is he specializes in helping people from all walks of life, and they're the only one I know that have grants up to $9,000 towards your down payment and closing costs, and that is huge when you're talking about buying a home. It may, in fact, pay both your down and closing cost on the right price of a home, or at least one of them. Or like in the case of my VA guy, he didn't have any closing cost, and the VA has no down payment.
Wow.
So, and I just had, matter of fact, just had a couple get into a house yesterday, total investment for this home, for them to move in, $2,000.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's pretty cheap, to be honest, to move into a home, and your only cost, the only money you got to hand them is
It's
$2,000.
$2,000. You can't even buy a used car for that.
No, not one that runs, I don't think.
No, that's what
for
I'm
very long. If it does, you know. So I was really happy to help them because they were looking for a good value. They're very young.
Right.
To be honest, I think he's 24.
Okay.
So they're in their young 20s and buying a home, and so
Go them.
No, go them. That is cool, but being able to do it with only $2,000 was a huge difference maker. For them.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
Now,
So
if
go
I
ahead.
can ask you, sorry, what
Yeah.
$2,000? Because the other side of that I'm worried about is okay, I'm putting $2,000 down, but then my mortgage payment is going to be through the roof.
Yeah. If what?
It like $2,000 down was
well,
a high
it-
mortgage payment.
No, it would be in the event that you were buying, let's say, well, you couldn't. If you were buying a $300,000 home with $2,000 down, yeah, your payment's probably through the moon. But
Okay.
because this home was under $200,000, it's a nice little home. Got it for under $200,000. Got some repair work done on it first.
Okay.
And so because of that, the 9,000, the stuff covered most of it.
Right.
For them.
So
So
average.
that grant money takes that number down just as if you put money in it. Down,
That's so awesome.
which is awesome. So reach out to Josh Taylor. Let me give you Josh's number because he's good people. You want to talk to him. His number is 351-2579. It's 351-2579. Now, someone's saying.
Yeah, dude, this is good comments. This
Yeah.
is a great idea.
Brandon and I agreed earlier if listeners made songs and submit them, and after y'all listen and make sure they're appropriate to be played on the show. Absolutely. I encourage you to do that. We just did that with Little Doggy.
Right.
We played the best ham sandwich in the world.
So what they wanted, because Brandon was saying what they want to do, they need a category on YouTube.
Okay.
So we could load like all the songs on your songs,
Yeah.
Latasha, if she made them.
Yeah, just put everybody's songs in a YouTube pool if they're good enough.
And then make a chart out of all the like.
Our own chart.
Yeah, who gets
That's a
listened to
great
the
idea.
most?
That is a great idea. I love that idea. Let's look into. Maybe we can do that.
The
Yeah.
PATP Hot 100.
Yeah, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. We'll figure out which tracks are the best via having a YouTube channel and let people submit songs. If they, to your point, if they meet the criteria,
Right.
then yes, absolutely, we can.
That's
do
a
that.
brilliant idea.
That is a
I think
great idea. Let's work that out. We'll start on our end and start getting that set up because I do love that idea. So yeah, and if you don't know, let me tell you where you go. Look, it's not the only place you can go. You can go a million places these days because AI is so robust. But if you go to lyricsintasong.ai, now in my case, I do write my own lyrics. I do not use anything ever to help me with lyrics. I write them independently.
Okay.
And then with that particular program, you know the song I played earlier, the first one I was excited about called Title?
Yeah.
Okay, so that one, if I look at my descriptor on it, when I'm typing in what I want, I had slow, melodic, heavy metal blues with soaring and wailing vocals.
Okay.
So I'm really specific. And then if you put things in parentheses, it changes that too. So
Interesting.
you can put instructions in parentheses, or you can put ad libs, if you will. You know what an
Okay.
ad lib is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or background vocals.
Okay.
These are things you can do with parentheses. So in that song, I used guitar break in two parentheses because I wanted two distinct, different,
Like
really
solos?
good, good guitar breaks in it. So you,
And they were.
yeah, they are good. So with it, you can do a lot of things. You can make any kind of genre. There's no genre you can't do.
Right.
You can make it happy. You can make it sad. You can make it upbeat, downbeat. It doesn't matter. But if you do that and you make a dope ass song and you're like, hey, that's a dope ass song, yeah, email it to Patrick at patrickandthepeople.com. We'll take a listen to it, and if we dig it, we'll put it up.
Nice.
And we'll go ahead and let me work on. Let's say by next week, we'll have a YouTube specifically the
Playlist
part
or
of
something,
the YouTube, but would probably be our same channel in a separate
Yeah.
category.
Yeah.
You know, but let me get that set up, and then I'll tell you, and we'll start putting all the songs over there, and we'll start to determine what the PATP hot, we'll say the hot 50 for now,
Right.
and move up to the hot 100. I think we'll get there pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've
that'd be
got.
a lot of fun.
I think I've got 27 I can put up now.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been writing them.
So you could, yeah, man. That's almost like, what, 3 albums?
Yeah, no, it damn sure is, and
Man,
it
it's up
would
there.
be close to it,
Yeah.
at least 2 for sure.
And hey, if people want to, they join in, they like watching the show, they comment, or even if they don't, if they want to come on and hang out with us sometime, man, are we
They can
still
do
open
that.
to that?
Absolutely. You can email Patrick at patrickandthepeople.com. There's actually a form if you go to the website that says, I want to be on the show.
Right.
You could be a business, an entrepreneur, a nonprofit trying to get awareness.
Right.
We've got some folks coming in here pretty quickly. Brandon Jacks brought in that his motorcycle club is helping, and they're doing a huge fundraising event. We're going to help them.
Nice.
Maybe you do something unique, like our friend David Lindsay. He brought in, you may remember his giant weapon.
Yeah, that
he's
thing
he's
was-
the long range champion of the nation. And so things like that are of interest. So anything interesting, yeah. Or if you just want to come sit in
Shoot
and
the
watch
stuff
it,
and yeah.
or just come hang out for a minute, absolutely. And the address, we're right here in North Little Rock off Broadway. It looks scary when you drive up, but it's not. 1021 Hemlock in North Little Rock. Rich, when is the next event for you that people need to know about?
So we got this.
Or do they need to go to a Facebook page and follow the intermission? What needs to happen? What are we
you
doing?
Man, I'm everywhere. We'll just run it down. You can go to Rich Rockwell, my announcer page. It's just Facebook.com/RichOneFall. Of course, most people seem to find me through my personal page, just Rich Rockwell on Facebook. You now have the intermission on Facebook and the intermission.us. That's the website.
Okay.
And Rich at theintermission.us. That is my email address. Booking questions, podcast questions. You want to talk to me? Rich at theintermission.us.
All right. And since we talked about that song in depth about how I made it and what the construction was on
Yeah.
it, and as I said this morning, really, Zeppelin and Soundgarden were the 2 bands that I had in mind.
Yeah, it was a
when
great.
I did it. Now, my son said it reminded him of Pop Evil. Somebody said something else that was a good one too. But I thought we'd end on that song again so you can hear it since we just talked about it and hear kind of how it was made. So, Brandon, we're going to play a song, and when that song is done, you can outro us, okay? So,
We'll see y'all next week.
yeah,
for
we're
me.
going to see you.
You'll be here
next
tomorrow.
time. I
Taking a
will.
Day off. Later, everybody. Take care.
Yep. Late. Here comes the song, though.
What is there to say? It's not been said.